ESPN, celebrating 150 years of college football.
Check this out.
Oh,
You like that? Grand finale.
I like that, man. That's good.
Welcome to the Nissan pregame rush. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Great scene here in Waco, counting down to kick off the Baylor Bears and the Oklahoma Sooners. And welcome back, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. The major story this afternoon, and it's a sad one for fans who love this sport. Tua Tagovailoa, athletic reporting, is out for the rest of the season. Would he play? Should he play? That was the big question. Here he is in a 4-touchdown lead late in the half, sacked, dislocated hip is the report. Potential fracture as well.
Of course, has the ankle injury now, hip. Looks like he also has a injured, maybe a broken nose. Just devastating news for Alabama and really all of college football.
SEC, Georgia stormed out of the gate. They built a 21-0 lead here, and then Auburn would try to battle back and make it a game late. Bo Nix scored in this touchdown. Suddenly it's a 7-point game.
Give Bo Nix, the true freshman, a lot of credit. Auburn a lot of credit, not giving up. Got the ball late, had a chance, only to be sacked here on 4th and 10, under 2 minutes to go, deep in their own territory, and Georgia holds on. A significant win, still a big factor in the playoff race.
Minnesota's perfect season is over. Iowa came charging out of the gate. They scored in their first 3 possessions. Nate Stanley, a big start.
Anytime you go to Kinnick in November, we all kind of brace. If a highly ranked team goes in there today, it was P.J. Fleck rowing his boat into Kinnick, and they go out with a hole in the boat. They lose, and not many surprise today.
But Minnesota-Wisconsin will still decide who wins the Big Ten West.
Yeah, Wisconsin, the big winner as a result of today's game. As you say, the winner in a couple weeks will go on to get to Indianapolis.
Down to 4 unbeatens, including Baylor. And here are the Baylor freshmen. This is a tradition that goes back almost a half-century, the Baylor line. They got indoctrinated, they got their special jerseys, and they will run out and form a human tunnel to welcome the Bears into McLean Stadium. And then they'll get the best seats in the house. They will sit right behind the visiting bench. It's a unique tradition. It's part of a charged up atmosphere here in Waco tonight with this Baylor-Oklahoma game. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. Kickoff from McLean Stadium is coming up next. But first, a look inside Nissan's Heisman House.
ESPN, home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
The Baylor Bears, the veterans, were part of a nightmarish 1-11 season. Here they are sitting 9-0, welcoming in the conference defending champions. How will they perform on this big stage? You're watching a presentation of the Big 12 on ESPN. Matt Rule hoping his team is ready to seize the moment, and he's with Maria Taylor.
Thanks, Chris. All right, Coach, so you're welcoming OU, they're defending conference champion, and you're undefeated at home. How did you describe this opportunity to your team?
Well, it's a chance to play a great football game versus a great team and an amazing atmosphere. Having game day here, having this crowd here, it's a tremendous opportunity for these kids.
What do you feel like is the biggest challenge facing your team in this matchup?
Just to go play football. I mean, if we make this bigger than it is, then we won't play a good game. I told our guys, but you've been doing football, you've been playing football since you were this big. Just go play, and this is why you lift all those weights and work, as Bill Parcells once said, for games like this. Let's go let it rip.
All right, thanks for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Tremendous job that he's done in his 3rd season. Their best moments have come on the road. Wins at Kansas State, Oklahoma State. Kirk, their 3 Big 12 wins decided by a total of 8 points. Charlie Brewer has been a clutch quarterback.
Yeah, it's been a great story to watch how we've seen this program really be resurrected, and the leadership of Matt Rule, the players. He played a lot of young players his first 2 years to go 1-11, and then 7-6, and now in year 3 sit here at 9-0. These players have waited for an opportunity to play a guy like Jalen Hurts, and against these Oklahoma Sooners, and all that hard work. See if it comes to fruition tonight.
Jalen Hurts, on the night that his buddy Tua Tagovailoa is apparently done for the season, will try to take care of business and keep Oklahoma alive in playoff contention. They come in as a double-digit road favorite against a 9-0 team. That is a rarity in college football. Oklahoma won the toss, but defers. So they'll put Baylor's offense on the field first. Gabe Burkich, reliable kickoff man. Josh Fleeks, the speedy sophomore, is back deep for Baylor, along with JaMychal Hasty, their tough running back. Is Baylor ready for this? You know their students are. And Burkich boots it to the end zone. So here comes Charlie Brewer. He's a third-generation quarterback. His grandpa played for Texas. He beat a Bear Bryant A&M team. His dad was the MVP of the Cotton Bowl. They beat Bryant's Alabama team. His brother, Michael, you remember him at Virginia Tech. We called some big wins for Michael Brewer. And now Charlie Brewer, the youngest of the brood, but he has inherited that family toughness.
He plays like the youngest in the family, plays with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, tough guy, wasn't heavily recruited coming out of Lake Travis in the Austin area with such great tradition. Love to watch how he plays the game.
And he's going to keep the ball and scamper. Nice gain on first down of about 6 as we check out the Chick-fil-A impact players.
But he's going to need help tonight, obviously. They want to attack the Sooners. John Lovett, they're going to see a rotation at 3. 7's probably their best all-round back. Denzel Mims, 5, can win one-on-one. He'll have to do that. Gallimore on the inside of this defense, and Kenneth Murray, the leader, anxious to get the Sooners back to playing good defense.
Again, Brewer takes off, slips a tackle, and spins for a first down. It's a Sooner defense that has been ripped apart the last couple games.
It really is. They want to start fast and try to get a stop here, but the Bears in their first couple plays, they pick up a first down. Back-to-back quarterback draws where they're getting Brewer settled down. They made a point in our meetings yesterday of saying, you know, last few games and maybe throughout the year, we haven't played with urgency all the time. We want to get Brewer playing with urgency instead of waiting till late in the game. They want to start fast.
End around, and they give the ball to Josh Fleeks, and he's knocked down after a 2-yard gain. Brewer admitted maybe he had been a little bit too conservative and trying to feel out the opponent early in the game. They would fall behind frequently.
Yeah, and he said part of that has to do with maybe, you know, the offensive line giving up some sacks and a few negative plays. They've relied on trusting their defense, winning with field position. They've won turnover margins often, so they've had to wait to really put their foot on the gas. And tonight, because it's Lincoln Riley and Jalen Hurts, they feel they can't wait to do that.
Brewer flushed out and delivers a high throw. Is off the hands of JaMychal Hasty out of the backfield. It'll be 3rd and long.
Well, they brought Kenneth Murray there late and actually had some good pressure. It's going to be a concern. And Brewer is back there, Chris, holding the ball longer than a hitch or two. And this offensive line, I don't think they can handle the athletic ability, the twists and stunts, and the way they'll bring pressure from those linebackers. Murray and White both will come after that quarterback. So he's got to have that internal clock. If it's not there, he's got to take off or throw it away. Can't take sacks.
Yeah, he's been sacked a lot, 23 times, taken a lot of hits this season. Sooners don't come after him, only a 3-man rush, but they still get him. Ronnie Perkins off the edge, and the Sooners do get a stop.
Well, Casey Phillips, the left tackle right here, just cannot deal with the athletic ability and the speed around the edge. Just does not do a good job of getting back, getting lateral and using, and maybe undervalued, underappreciated the quickness there of Perkins. And you could see the back there slide out because he thought the left tackle Phillips had that handled. They just rush 3 and get home.
Isaac Power to punt, and Kirk C.D. Lamb, the regular punt returner, is not out there. It was Drake Stoops, son of Bob Stoops. And now as the Sooners offense takes the field, we will keep a close eye on number 2 as the Sooners have nice field position to get their first offensive possession. Check the head last week on C.D. Lamb at Oklahoma's victory over Iowa State. Boom. He lowers his head as a punt returner, loses the helmet. He didn't come out of the game. He played a monster game, but media reports began to circulate just this afternoon after he had done plenty of media. It was a feature on College Game Day that he would not be able to play because he didn't pass the protocol. Nobody told Maria pregame, but there he is, Kirk, with a stocking hat as the Sooner offense takes over here from their own 47. We'll talk about the impact of the game plan if, in fact, he can't go tonight. A significant playmaker, the deep threat on this Oklahoma team. This is Kennedy Brooks, who turns the corner and gets to midfield.
Well, first you have to remember they average 249 yards a game on the ground. Jalen Hurts, if anything, is going to have to run a few more times tonight with CeeDee Lamb down. He averages about 14 carries a game. The other thing is you're going to see some of these younger receivers, the true freshmen. Lincoln Riley telling us they're ready to grow up this week, so they'll have their opportunity along with Charleston Rambo.
Brooks again with a stiff arm and muscles his way for a gain to the 46. It'll set up 3rd and 3.
Yeah,
it becomes a more ground-heavy attack.
Yeah, I mean, they typically want to run the ball to set up their play-action pass game. I mean, that's who they are. And, you know, whether CeeDee Lamb is out there or not, that's their personality, that's their identity. Now it just takes on that much more of an identity because of not having their go-to guy, the top receiver in the country. But they're not going to change who they are. If anything, more physical, more run, more controlling the line of scrimmage.
Well, there's a pre-snap flag, which will change the complexion of this 3rd down play. It's a false start. Rarely do the Sooners even get to 3rd down.
A false start by number 77 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 3rd down.
Left tackle Eric Swenson. Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator for the Bears, saying only about 10 times a game, 90 times this season. That's all they've been at 3rd down.
Yeah, it was funny hearing Phil Snow tell us, he's like, I'm going through the 3rd down tape. He goes, I got the 3rd and 1
Short tape
for 5 plays all year. To win to get him to 3rd down, right?
Bears crowd the line, come after Hurts on 3rd down. The blitz is picked up, and the pass is caught. Different guys will have to step up. That's A.D. Miller as they move the sticks.
Watch Jalen Hurts. Hitch, ball is out. Great timing. Ball is actually out early before the veteran A.D. Miller even comes out of his break. Jalen Hurts early in this game just settling in. Felt good on that throw, on that 3rd down and long. Had time to be able to see it and deliver the ball accurately.
Brooks again, turns the corner, and bangs down for another 1st down to the 23-yard line. Stopped by Miller and Graylin Arnold.
You play 3-3-5 for Baylor. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. They play that scheme because they play in the Big 12 where people spread you out. It gives them the chance to get more speed on the field. But you better be ready to be physical when OU comes to town with this running game and that offensive line.
Averaging about 250 a game on the ground. Hurts slings it, and the catch is made by Nick Basquin, knocked out of bounds after a short gain. Jalen, a 73% passer. That's 2nd behind LSU's Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I think Lincoln Riley does a really good job. He's done a good job with all his quarterbacks, but I think he's done a really good job with a quarterback that hasn't had a lot of time to be on campus, has picked up his system, has become a leader in the weight room, in the locker room. It's hard to do when you come over from another school, but right away these players realize the alpha personality that he has.
Play action on 2nd and 5. Hurts knocked down as he delivers the throw, and it falls way short. Jordan Williams came off the edge there.
Yeah, they brought pressure up the middle, and it affected his follow through, but I think the ball may have just slipped out of his hand. Watch this at the end here. He gets hit. Can't really follow through on the football. Ball kind of took off on him. At first I thought maybe somebody at the line of scrimmage may have tipped it, but that ball just kind of floated awkwardly out of his hand. Another 3rd down.
Bears a huge number of quarterback pressures, 200 of them on this season. That's big. And they get near Hurts. Nobody with a hand on the ground on 3rd and 5. Hurts looking to run, but he can't escape. Slung down by Bravion Roy for a sack.
Well, anytime you get Jalen Hurts to 3rd down, you got to be concerned about his scramble. Watch Roy in the middle. Now, he's a big man, but he's over 330 pounds. But look him, he wins his battle, and then he's able to be there with his eyes up and be able to bring down Jalen Hurts. His push in the middle tonight, essential, because Jalen likes to scramble up the middle.
Burkich, a freshman kicker who takes over for Austin Cyber, the all-time Big 12 leading scorer. This from 39 yards to remain perfect on the season. And it will go just inside the upright. 11 for 11 as the Sooners take advantage of good field position, but just produce 3 points. Up early here in Waco.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. And in part by Pizza Hut, official pizza of college football. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners and a contender this year for Oklahoma. The QBR factors in his success as a runner. He's got 15 rushing touchdowns, yards per play. That is a whopping number, as is 39 TDs responsible for it. Nissan bringing you the Heisman Watch.
Incredible to watch Lincoln Riley work with his quarterbacks and how productive they are year after year after year in their yards per play, points per game. Just incredible.
Could not scramble for that first down. Oklahoma settles for 3. And Baylor's offense goes back to work. Hasty from the goal line. Stutter steps, but can't get beyond the 23. So the pass rush getting to Brewer in that opening series. That's been a pattern, as you mentioned earlier, that offensive line slightly overmatched at times early in games. They play better as it goes on.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see the offensive staff have to adjust their approach. You know, early in a game, you're giving a variety of formations, personnel groupings, just trying to see what you might get. But they're going to have to attack quickly because of the mismatch up front with that offensive line. They're better this year than they've been in the last couple of years. They've got better numbers, better size, but they're still, you're going against pretty good athletes from Oklahoma.
Play action on first down. Brewer on a slam, and he bounced the ball to Denzel Mims, who was running free in the secondary.
Yeah, this is just a miscommunication by the Oklahoma secondary, where you have 2 defenders that are working into the flat. I'm thinking this safety broke late, but they end up busting coverage. You can see him late. See how he's late trying to get back to recover to get to the middle of the field. And that's a mistake. That's something that really cost Oklahoma against Kansas State and Iowa State last week.
Second down throw across the middle. Going down to make a tough catch is Mims. He's known for that. He just had a monster late game heroics against TCU, that overtime survival.
Brewer, and you know, Brewer makes this throw, and he'd love to have the one back where he has the touchdown. That is an incredible effort there by Mims.
Will you make a throw that bad? Are you just trying to muscle the ball forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you see it and you probably muscle. You try to maybe short arm it. You're just trying to make that perfect throw.
There's another shot, sliding move there by Chris Platt on the sidelines. He's got it for another first down to the 47.
See, you have an Oklahoma defense that's reeling coming into the game the way they played against Kansas State and Iowa State. That's why I like the tempo. I like attacking the secondary, because that's where they've had a lot of miscues.
Brewer on the move, will now cut it back and dart up the middle. He's got sneaky quickness. That's a 7-yard gain.
He's got that defense flying. He does a nice job with his vision there to show you what kind of a natural runner he is, cutting back against the grain. But they've got all of a sudden Oklahoma on their heels, and this is where they want to be to help that offensive line, more in that attack mode that we talked about.
On second and 3, trying to bounce the run outside, and then lowering his shoulder is John Lovett, the junior from New Jersey, who's created more explosive runs than any Baylor back, and they do move to 6 again.
Alex Grinch, the new defensive coordinator from Oklahoma. Of course, they had a tough year last year. They fired Mike Stoops in the middle of the year. Ruff McNeil took over. They bring Alex Grinch over, who was at Ohio State last year as a co-defensive coordinator. He loves to attack the line of scrimmage. A lot of twists, a lot of games up front from that D-line.
Yeah, they come after Brewer again. It's a low throw. Got the ball out quickly, and Fleeks goes down, but it's just a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, you know, and I was talking to him this week. He said, you know, when I got there, I was just trying to get these guys to realize what they're capable of being defensively, and almost redefine the culture and get their confidence back and show them who they can be. It's not just offense with Oklahoma. We want to create our own identity on defense.
They used the word fail a couple times in our conversation based on what has happened the last couple of weeks, though. Second and long, Brewer took a look and now just takes off and He cannot escape Kenneth Murray, the middle linebacker, the top tackler on this defense.
Yeah, he's been around for 3 years. Really instinctive player. Does a nice job here of being patient. Watch 7, the back, try to pick up a block. They're setting up that quarterback draw, but he doesn't even make a block. Love it. Slow to go out and attack Murray. And Murray in space with that experience, very, very tough to handle for any back.
He and Neville Gallimore, the nose guard, the two really elite players in this Oklahoma defense. Bears need 6 on 3rd. 3-man rush. Brewer with plenty of time. Throws a dart over the middle. Taking a huge shot, but holding on is R.J. Sneed. And here comes a flag on the hit by Deshaun White.
How about the offensive line? Remember the last time on 3rd down, he sat back there and he ends up getting sacked by Perkins. This time, even with the pass interference there, he grabs onto his arm. He still works through that. Because of the protection, it allows Brewer to wait, and then find that passing lane and make a good throw. Gave his receiver a chance with the accuracy, a chance to get down to protect himself.
Sneed, slot receiver, very reliable when he's targeted by Brewer, and tremendous job holding on over the middle. It'll be a 1st down. The ball spotted at the 26, but now they're talking about the flag.
A personal foul, targeting by number 23 of the defense. Its penalty is half the distance to the goal, and it's an automatic 1st down. The play is under further review.
I'd like to bring Dave Katay in here and ask Dave if he's considered a defenseless player there, because he hits him with his shoulder into the head. I would assume he's got to be defenseless there.
At this point, any player that's in the process of catching a ball or has just caught the ball and has not established himself as a runner, in other words, being able to do something with the ball, is still defenseless, which means the rule is head, neck, arm, wrist, anything.
Doesn't matter what you hit him with.
Right.
He's defenseless. So there's people at home that are saying, wait a second, he hit him with his shoulder. That's not helmet to helmet, but because he's defenseless, it doesn't matter. If you hit him up high, even with the shoulder, that's what they called it for.
The ball got knocked loose by White's hit, but somehow Sneed was able to grab it with his right arm, maintain possession of the football.
Very nonchalantly, too.
Now, the key thing they're looking at here is this forcible contact, or was he going down to get the football? This is what replay's got to look at. The contact is up. Is it forcible contact? Is there an indicator? Those 3 things have to happen and have to be confirmed in order for this to be targeted.
Deshaun White awaits his fate, of course. He'll be disqualified from the game if this is upheld.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a catch is confirmed. However, there is no foul for targeting. It's a 1st down.
So no 15-yard penalty. White can stay in the game, and that's why it was important that Sneed somehow held on to the football there.
Yeah, and it goes back to that whole, is he considered defenseless, or is he considered just a runner or a receiver there that got his feet established?
Baylor has a player, a safety, Chris Miller, who's been hit with targeting 3 times. He was suspended for the last game against TCU. That's what happens when you're targeted 3 times in a season. He's back tonight. But the Bears, meanwhile, 1st down from the 26. And he flip it to Lovett in the flat, and he's got space, and a 1st down, and much more, barreling down inside the 5, 1st and goal, as the back out of the backfield makes a big play.
It's a good read here. You're going to see to Brewer's left, the nickelback, Hiles, he's reading him right here. Is he going out or is he coming in? He's got to feel that. Once he comes to the quarterback, he's able to dump it off to him, and there's nobody left to pick him up.
Backs are very effective receivers in this offense. All 3 of the backs have caught the ball effectively. Lovett in the game on 1st and goal. Brewer going to keep it, and he scores standing up, and Baylor takes the lead. Flag down near side of the field
by number 6 of the defense. The penalty's declined. It's a touchdown.
You want urgency, Kirk, from this offense. How about that drive? 78 yards in 10 plays, less than 4 minutes.
Yeah, they were attacking there, and couple of nice receptions, but I thought that Charlie Brewer really looked like the quarterback that he's capable of being there, running, making good reads, good throws. Really, again, in that attack mode, 10 plays and 78 yards.
And a great job recovering, as the PAT is good, from a terrible throw. It was a sure touchdown to Mims. He bounces the ball to him, but he regroups after that.
Yeah, that was the good read where he got Love at the ball out wide. I also thought they did a nice job with tempo. They completely had Oklahoma on their heels, and then Brewer here follows the big man Newman around and gets into the end zone for the Bears' first touchdown of the night.
Baylor leads 7-3. Charlie Brewer completing passes to 5 different receivers on the drive, and then his 8th rushing touchdown, by far the most on the Bears this season. Trey Brown back deep to receive the kick. Noah Rauschenberg, who's missed 5 games with an injury, is back. And he's known for his kickoff leg, and drives it to the 2. Brown trying to get sideways. A flag flies. Brown still trying to stay alive, and he does get free. And the kicker unable to grab him. Again, a flag down as Brown loses the ball at the end. Sooners recover at the 16-yard line, so a lot to sort out. The flag came out very, very early. Braden Willis eventually recovered Brown's fumble.
Well, there's a lot going on there.
Sure was.
Holding by number 8 of the return team. The penalty will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and it'll be a first down.
Trajan Bridges, the receiver on the special teams, costs the huge return.
Well, he grabbed him and brought him right down to the ground, just grabbed his jersey, the true freshman. He's right here. I think he's in that area. No, he's right here. There he is, grabs him right there.
Negates an 80-yard return. Instead of starting in the red zone, Oklahoma backed up and will start inside its own 15. So Riley's going to have to work around not having CeeDee Lamb. Already you've seen receiver A.D. Miller step up with a catch on that 3rd and long conversion, but this is a challenge even for a gifted play caller like Lincoln Riley, isn't it, Kurt?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you're backed up, you got a little bit of momentum, you're on the ropes here. This is what makes great teams great, right? You got to accept this challenge. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, he's about as calm and cool and collected as a quarterback as you're gonna see.
But CeeDee Lamb and he have a special connection. It goes back to Jalen's first days in Norman when he crashed on Lamb's couch. Jalen rolls out, knocked down in the end zone, and heaves it as there was a miscommunication there. Blake Lynch brought the pressure. Maria?
Well, speaking of CeeDee Lamb, we finally got the official news from Oklahoma that he's out with a medical issue. You know, I spoke to CeeDee this week leading into this game, and he was so excited to be able to make plays with that guy, Jalen Hurts. So he's sitting on the sidelines now, trying to keep his team into it, trying to make sure that he's bringing energy on the sidelines right now, but will not be coming into the game tonight, guys.
All right, Maria, and Chris, you just talked about that chemistry and that comfort. There's a miscommunication there with a freshman receiver.
Brooks slashes for a short gain. Serious smoke screen. You don't often have a player who's ruled out medically sit down and do a feature for College Game Day and have a phone call with Maria. Go through the warm-ups with helmet and shoulder pads on.
Now, I've never seen that. First time. Another big 3rd down here for OU, this time deep in their own territory.
Who will step up and make these clutch catches with the big play weapon not in there?
They're showing outside pressure here. See how they're walking them up. Here they come.
Hurts. And escape again. They got him. Blake Lynch, the linebacker, and the Bears force a punt.
And they brought pressure from the outside. They walked both their outside linebackers. They're hybrid players here, and they bring them. But that's not the only 2 that apply the pressure. You also see in the inside, James Lockhart, 9, gets free, and Jalen Hurts, his head is spinning, trying to figure out where that pressure is coming. Nice job of dialing it up there by Phil Snow and fooling OU, the offensive line, and Jalen Hurts on 3rd down.
Only the 23rd punt this year for Reeves Muncho. They haven't had to punt very often. It's a high one. Braylon Arnold will get away from it. It bounces with backspin, touched about the 45-yard line. And that's where the Bears will take over, up 7-3. That pass rush has been effective, harassing Hurts already. Well, the Disney bundle is now available. Here's what you get: ESPN Plus, all the content like Primetime, UFC, NHL, 30 for 30, then Disney Plus and Hulu, all packaged together. Movies, sports, and shows. Go to ESPNplus.com to sign up.
I'm all over that first day. I think you can get
Pretty good deal.
Up to 5 tablets. Yeah, it's nice.
Probably a better deal for you.
Yeah, you got all the kids. I got 4 kids. We picked that up right away. All the Star Wars stuff. It's great.
Hasty is the back next to Brewer, and they begin from the 46. Brewer backpedals, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Excellent pressure by the fine nose guard.
This is what Oklahoma's dealing with. It's that long pass play, man-to-man on the outside right here, right? But what I think catches them, and the reason Alex Grinch got upset was their nickel back right there. Radley Hiles, he kind of got stuck in between. Do I take the quarterback? Do I take the back? He starts on the back, then comes down on the quarterback, and this is what happened after that play. After the touchdown, is he had to deal with Alex Grinch on the sideline, basically saying, do your job by staying with that back.
You said it rather emphatically.
Yeah.
Brewer is pressure, but he escapes, and he's going to dive head first for a first down at the 42. Big part of this game so far, Brewer scrambling.
Well, watch the linebacker clear out with the motion, and then the awareness by Brewer to see the open right there. He just steps up. They blitz that other outside linebacker, and once again, the middle of the Sooners defense is open for Brewer to take off for yards with his legs.
Man, he just hurls his body forward into defenders. He delivers blows.
He does.
Takes them.
Yeah. He said in the meeting the other day, he's like, I'm tired of taking him. It's fun to deliver him once in a while.
He's not 100%. He's been knocked around this year, but few on this field are 100% at this point in the season. And give it off from the running back, and this is Hasty, and he's going to be slung down by Murray, but not before a 9-yard gain.
See, this is where you attack Oklahoma, to me, running the ball. Get to the edge. You can get to the corner, you can seal that edge, and you can force that secondary to have to tackle. This time Murray's able to chase it down, but not until 9 yards downfield.
Sneak by Brewer for a first down. You're right. Kansas State, Iowa State just killed the Sooners with those wide.
Yeah, anytime you wanted to go wide, get to the perimeter the last couple of weeks, Kansas State and especially Iowa State in that second half last week. And it doesn't just mean running. You can just throw the quick pass, the quick screen to the outside, but force that secondary to make tackles.
And the Bears, again, it's the first time in a game this big for all of these players, acquitting themselves well in the first quarter. Trying to build to this lead. First down from the 30. Play action again. Brewer takes it downfield. Sean Mims has got it. Touchdown, Baylor. What a start in Waco.
But Denzel Mims matched up against a true freshman in Davis, and watch how he gets beyond him. Now he stacks him, uses that left arm to get beyond him. How about the throw by Charlie Brewer? I mean, you can't do it any better. But I love that Mims got that separation, used that arm to extend just a little bit, a little push, and then he used his speed to outrun him.
9th touchdown for Mims, a guy that symbolizes the evolution, the growth of so many of these Baylor veteran players. He has come light years. He's the main threat. He's a Baylor receiver, and the Bears back-to-back touchdown drives, taking 54 yards, an electric throw and catch. They've got Oklahoma down 11 late first quarter. Target Command Center. Coverage of the game streaming live on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. In Lane Stadium, they expect to break a record tonight. More than 50,000 in here. This joint is jumping. Keep an eye on the Oklahoma sideline. It's been an active place there. Lincoln Riley's team will have to come from behind without their playmaker, CeeDee Lamb, as Baylor's offense has caught fire. didn't have a touchdown in regulation against TCU. They scored 3 in overtime. In fact, the last 8 quarters, it had 2 touchdowns. 2 in the first quarter tonight. Brown comes up to receive the short kickoff from the 9, and a flag comes in here. He's spun down. This one may be on the attempted tackle. Did they get a face mask? Cooper Castleberry, the veteran, in charge of this Big 12 crew tonight.
They definitely grabbed the face mask. Knew that he did it as soon as the play was over.
Jalen Hurts sacked a couple of times already. Made the big 3rd down throw. That's been Oklahoma's best play tonight. But that Baylor pass rush coming from all angles. Hard to read, isn't it?
Yeah, it
They're
really
all standing
is.
up before the snap.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job because of that stalk look that they have on 3rd down.
Holding by number 18 of the receiving team. That penalty is declined. An illegal block in the back by number 8 of the receiving team. That penalty is half the distance to the goal, and it's first down.
Thought they had a face mask there for sure. Let's go back to that touchdown. Oklahoma brings a blitz here and a blitz here by Murray around, but Brewer feels that, sees the one-on-one to the outside with Mims, and he knows that his guy can win that every time with his 6'3" height, and of course he has great speed. This is another time Oklahoma, Alex Grinch talking to a defensive player, making sure we're all on the same page, making sure there aren't any breakdowns. Again, that was a big emphasis this week, was to try to avoid mental breakdowns and busts on the defensive side of the ball.
Penalty moves the ball to the 6. This is a new position for Oklahoma's offense. They go with a different formation, a 2-back look. And the handoff inside to Ramondre Stevenson, a big physical player. But Kirk, they have been a tremendous first quarter team. When they're outscoring people 114 to 21 coming in. Not used to being behind early.
No, they're not at all. But you know, I think they need a drive where they can just kind of have some success, pick up a couple first downs, get better field position, try to get their confidence back.
Hurts keeps it, gets to the edge.
When in doubt,
dives down for a first down near the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's who you rely on. When in doubt, you got to go to a veteran. Jalen Hurts knows how to make plays, especially with his legs and being able to outrun some defenders. That time he got just to the outside of Blake Lynch. And once he broke contain, he had the speed to get it to the first down marker.
They fake it to Brooks. Hurts delivers, and the catch made on the sideline there by A.D. Miller, the senior from Dallas, who only had 3 catches this season, has 2 tonight.
Yeah, and again, the second time we've seen Hurts work back to that left boundary and be in sync with A.D. Miller. A veteran receiver that is going to have to step his game up tonight with CeeDee Lamb out, and he has in his first quarter.
22-yard gain. And Brooks tests the right side, slips 1 tackle, wrestled down, 3-yard gain. James Lynch got the tackle, along with Lockhart.
You know, OU runs that counter play they have for these last 4 years, and it kind of become a staple of Lincoln Riley. That time, Baylor, nice job of chasing it down from behind.
Hurts is chased. Can he escape? Ball on the ground. It's a scrum. Baylor, Blake Lynch at the bottom of that pile, trying to spin away, just dropped the football. And the Bears think they have a takeaway. Hurts is still.
They're fighting for that football.
Jalen's a strong man. If he can do anything at the bottom of the pile to atone for the mistake, he will. Blake Lynch, co-captain, graduate, bottom of that pile, and it is a barely takeaway. A rough start for Jalen Hurts tonight.
Well, Chris, it's that same blitz from the outside with the 38 right here. You see 2 eventually coming as well. They're bringing that outside pressure with Jordan Williams and Blake Lynch. Lynch doesn't give up on it, just enough with that right hand to knock the ball loose. or actually, he actually knocks his foot loose where he loses his footing, and now it's a scrap for that football. And it's like Lynch got it. Yeah, Lynch got it back.
Terrell Bernard down there scrapping for the football as well. And now Baylor, a real opportunity to stretch the lead. 1 second left in a wild first quarter. Brewer, another look downfield, and another big run. Sliding down inside the 5. Baylor threatens again. What a first 15 minutes. They spot the Sooners a 3-0 lead and then roar back.
Another quarterback run up the middle. Look at him set up this block right there. Perfect move to kind of wait patiently for Galvin to pick up that block out in space. Brewer running tonight and doing a great job of leading this Bears offense.
Baylor trying to seize their moment, off to a great start. End of one in Waco. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
The super big Samsung QLED TV is made for football.
Highlight of Waco, that's the Silo District. Chip and Joanna Gaines, guest pickers in College Game Day. That's part of the Magnolia Empire. And welcome back. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. And the Bears, as we begin the second quarter, threatening to build on this lead. And a whistle. Oklahoma, one of the worst teams in the country in this situation.
There was no play. There was no play. The substitution process had not completed.
Opponents, Kurt, in the goal-to-goal situations, score touchdowns 88% of the times. Oklahoma 119th in the country defensively in situations just like this. And Lincoln Riley, usually a pretty cool customer, very confident in his players. You have a different sense so far from him. They're down 11 and fixing to be perhaps worse.
It's very early, and I'm just used to seeing a look on his face like, hey, everything's fine. Let's get the ball back. We'll go to work. And still a long way to go in this game, but you get down 21-3. It's a big series here for OU.
Brew keeping straight ahead, scores for a second time, and Baylor building a big lead.
It's the same play they scored in their last touchdown where they brought the right guard Newman around. Quarterback power. And they just don't have enough defenders on that side of the football. They use a formation to get him out of position. They bring that right guard around, and Kenneth Murray unable to make the tackle.
So Brewer run for a couple through the touchdown pass to Mims. What a start with the junior from Austin, Lake Travis High School. John Mayers makes it 21-3. Here's the began the possession here. Hurts just puts the ball on the ground. The Bears have the short field, and they take it right in.
Yeah, a great opportunity for Baylor after that turnover to put themselves up by 18, and they capitalize here early in the second.
Charlie Brewer, all 27 yards on that touchdown drive via his 2 runs. There is a party breaking out in McLean Stadium. You talking about a football program that was a national pariah, scandalized, house cleaning from top to bottom here. These players suffering through 1-11 in Matt Rule's first year, and all of a sudden they are hammering the defending champions in this conference 21-3. A lot of football to be played, but Baylor is just building momentum here.
Yeah, they really are. This play kind of symbolic. Look at the left side of that offensive line collapse down OU's defense, and Kenneth Murray, a veteran player, there left alone to try to make the play, but the play happened so quick, got downhill so quickly, unable to slow down Charlie Brewer, who right now is in a zone. You can see 6 of 9 throwing the football and 10 carries already for 60 yards and a couple touchdowns. He's accounted for 3, and we're just starting the second quarter.
Charlie's all business. You could see his
locked in, man.
You couldn't tell he was up 18. He is a man of few words. What answers can Jalen Hurts have? They swing it to Stevenson out of the backfield, and Big man shows a nice burst, and it's a first down out across the 35.
Yeah, simplify, get your athletes out in space and let them do some damage themselves. We've seen Brooks tonight a lot. Stevenson, the junior college player, he's got the size at 236 pounds, and that time shows he's got some burst as well.
I feel like he's ready for a big stretch run. And Hurts into the clear, shedding tackles, slides down in Baylor territory at the 45, but the Sooners trying to strike back quickly.
Yeah, a good read here. Watch him read the defensive end. He kind of stays on this ride. Watch how long he rides here to get this man to commit down. Once he commits down, he pulls it. Now he's outside with blockers. Good job by the receivers of stalk blocking there to give him even more room to run.
And they hand it off inside to Stevenson.
Isn't it interesting, you know, in the past when you had Kyler Murray or you had Baker Mayfield, if they would have digged themselves a hole like this, they'd go back to the passing game, right? It's interesting how now you go back to Jalen Hurts in the running game, the zone read, and with CeeDee Lamb out, it's even more of an emphasis and more that they need from the quarterback Hurts and his running ability.
Hurts from the pocket this time delivers a high throw. Nick Basquin makes the catch, knocked out hard, picks up about 6. It'll be third down and short.
And that's where they want to be with Jalen Hurts' ability to run and throw. They cleared out the corner who was playing man-to-man. Watch him clear him out there. Creates that nice opening there to the boundary. Nice long throw, an accurate throw there by Hurts.
After the one line, the game shows they need 2. Bravion Roy, the big nose tackle, number 99 back in the game for this play. 2-back look. Hurts rolling, gonna throw for it, and the catch is made. Just enough for the first down to Charleston Rambo.
And Rambo's really the guy that has got to be able to come up with the big plays tonight. Not an easy throw and catch there on 3rd and short. I thought they might use the quarterback run game there with 2 backs there to lead the way, but instead they roll him out and Rambo has to go up high to make that catch. Secures it for that first.
They fake it to Stevenson. Hurts looking to run, and he'll be spun down by James Lockhart, the former Texas A&M Aggie.
These outside linebackers slash safeties slash nickelbacks, whatever you might want to call them. Jordan Williams, 38, Blake Lynch. They do a little bit of everything in this defense, and they're very, very active. Lockhart, of course, is up front along with James Lynch and Roy, the 3 down linemen. But, man, I'm impressed with these outside linebackers, 38 and 2, doing a really good job tonight of being active against the pass and also against the run.
Lockhart, one of the leaders, 37th college football game. He's seen a lot. Hurts took a look outside, runs right back into the middle of traffic, and is going to be dropped behind the line by T.J. Franklin, a true freshman, and Jordan Williams.
You know, Phil Snow is saying to these outside, these hybrid linebackers, get upfield. Do not let them get outside of us. They're forcing them. See how they're blitzing them quite a bit. They want him to go back underneath. Jalen Hurts has such ability to run, and he can get wide with his speed. They're forcing him back in where into that teeth of that defense of Baylor, where the inside linebackers and that defensive line is.
Sooners may have 2 plays to get the 11 yards. Here's third down as Baylor crowds the line. Hurts has time, though, steps up. It's a long throw into traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Braylon Arnold. Arnold down the sidelines. Can he beat Hurts? No, the quarterback gets off the block and forces him out, but it's a second Jalen Hurts turnover, and Baylor in business again.
Well, you talk about instincts as a defensive back. He was waiting for this ball the entire time. Watch him come from the inside. Look at him waiting. Eyes back, jump the ball instantly. He was waiting for Basquin to finish his route, but as he was in good position, it allowed him to look over his shoulder and look at Jalen Hurts, who threw the ball, and his eyes lit up because he knew he had a chance to jump it.
And what a year Braylon Arnold has had. Hampered by injuries so much of his career. That's his 4th interception of the season and a 71-yard return. means the Bears start at the 9, first and goal.
Jalen threw a couple balls last week that were questionable and could have been intercepted. They were dropped by the Cyclones, not by the Bears tonight.
Brewer from the pocket, fires for the end zone. Touchdown, Mims, his second. And Baylor is pouring it on against OU.
So you're saying you wanted a platform to send a message to the committee. Well, they're off to a pretty good start here. It's potentially 28-3. Protection is there. He gets a matchup that he wants. Does a nice job of looking that safety off, but gets the matchup again with his man Mims. He feels Mims can beat anybody in this Oklahoma secondary one-on-one. That's the second time tonight he's done it for a touchdown.
Baylor has been the somehow, some way team. Just create ways to win tight games. They've created this national stage. They feel disrespected at 13. And you're right, Kirk, this has been emphatic so far.
Yeah, one-on-one right here. Trey Brown, who's undersized at 5'10" against Mims. You wait, ball out against man coverage. Perfectly placed where only Mims can get his hands on the ball. And the Bears and Charlie Brewer could not play any better, up 28-3.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. 150 years strong. Protection and retirement solutions for your future. At Mazda, feel alive.
Lincoln Riley circled up every Sooner who made this road trip and delivered an extended and emphatic message. He was hot, but tried to stay positive at the end, tried to be positive with Jalen Hurts now. Kirk has had a couple of turnovers and finds himself in a 25-point hole in a revved-up stadium.
The bad news, obviously, you're on the road, down 25. Your best player offensively, CeeDee Lamb's not playing tonight. The good news is there's 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. So it just starts small, little victories as they try to work their way back into the game.
Maria, what do you have?
Well, I've been down on the OU sideline most of the first half, and really they're kind of in disbelief a little bit. You could see CeeDee Lamb come over and talk to some of the defensive players, trying to hype him up, saying, man, I love you guys. You can see Kenneth Murray, the leader that he is, trying to be a vocal leader, getting everyone on the same page. But for now, a little bit of a loss for words and heads hanging on the sidelines as they try to get right back in this.
Yeah, this is a team that has bullied most people in this conference, including Baylor. They put 66 on the Bears last year, gave up a lot of yards, but blew them out. And I think swaggered in here as 10-point favorites, feeling this was going to be their night. Kennedy knocked down, and Brooks across the 30. He's got the first down yardage.
There are people around the country right now hearing second quarter score out of Waco, Baylor 28, Oklahoma 3, and saying, what's going on? It's one of those kind of starts to this game right now. But OU they've got to be able to find out who is going to step up on the perimeter. I think it needs to be Charleston Rambo 14 with CeeDee Lamb out as far as making plays.
Play action across the middle, and there's the third catch for A.D. Dropped the ball, hammered by Chris Miller. Had it, couldn't hold it.
Yeah, I think Chris Miller got in there. By the way, he's not playing in last week's game because he's had 3 targeting calls. New rule this year, after 3 targeting calls, you're out. So it's nice to see him still be aggressive and play smart. Comes in there with his hand and dislodges that football against A.D. Miller. See that right hand kind of in the contact with his shoulder and his upper body, jarred that ball loose.
And it plays 100 miles an hour. Got to play within the rules, though.
Yep.
Because he earned those 3 targetings. Hurts has good protection, but just takes off. It's one read and go, and why not when you can do that out near midfield? Another first down.
See, he's reading this before he takes off on that quarterback draw. He's trying to feel the linebacker there. If the linebacker drops too far back, that's what gives him a chance to take off and run. He's just kind of watching this guy. If he drops out too far, then he's going to follow the lineman. So watch him. Kind of look at that, feel that. Then he decides, okay, I can take off and use it as a quarterback draw, and he follows the big fella there, Robinson, and gets positive yards.
Who's talking about Chris Miller, the senior from Frisco, Texas. He's being attended to, has now gotten to his feet and is shaking out that right leg. So we're seeing the Sooners try to answer again, but doing so mostly on the ground.
Yeah, he's 6 of 10 for 65 yards here so far.
You know, he's the guy that 1 out of every pass attempts for Hurts goes downfield. That's a very high percentage, and usually he's looking for CeeDee Lamb. Without Lamb in there, it's a totally different looking Oklahoma offense. They've been a big downfield team all season long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have been quick strike. I mean, as good as anybody in the country at scoring quickly, which is kind of, again, an MO of what we've seen from Lincoln Riley's offenses over the years.
Brooks tackled. You talk about a yard per attempt, which is one measure they use to talk about your efficiency. 13.3 is a massive number.
Yeah, I think they're number 2 coming into tonight in the country in pass plays of 20 yards or more, with 53 of them. So yeah, I mean, and that's why even with CeeDee Lamb out, I think they still feel, because there's so much time to go in this game, they've worked themselves back into this game.
2nd and 7. Hurts from the pocket delivers a long throw. And the catch is made there by Lee Morris, and the veteran knocked out by Lynch. Another first down.
Yeah, and when you get these opportunities, you've got to capitalize on them. Watch the safety right here, and watch Miller work down the middle of this defense. Safety comes up right there. You got it. Got to take that throw, take that shot. Those are quick strikes that if you can hit, make an accurate throw downfield, that's a touchdown. You're right back in the game.
Brooks has to try to bounce it. There was quick penetration. Fights back near the line of scrimmage, but that play was in trouble from the start.
Yeah, eyes on the football, sitting back in zone. What's great about that is when you have eyes on the football, you have a veteran defense that is not hesitating. They are firing towards that ball carrier. Leverage, a big part of Phil Snow's message this week, and tackling. He thought those are the 2 things that they had to do against the OU run game.
3-man rush on 2nd and 10. So Hurts decides to run it, and he'll muscle for about 5. It'll be 3rd down.
And they've been watching Charlie Brewer run that quarterback draw. And they're saying, well, we've got a quarterback that can run that draw too. So he gets some positive yards to set up this 3rd down here and manageable. Remember, they call a pass. Baylor's thinking as much about the threat of the scramble by Hurts as much as defending the pass play here.
Oklahoma down 25, desperate need to answer right here. Hurts has plenty of time. It's a downfield shot, looping ball out of the hands of Baskin right near the pylon. JT Woods in coverage. It's 4th down and 5.
Yeah, he's on the slot. He's got room to work to the outside. Does a really good job with his route. The ball just underthrown. He left JT Woods. The progressive pylon cam shows you he's in bounds, just unable to hold on to the underthrown ball there by Jalen Hurts.
Offense on the field. Of course, down 25. 4th and 5. Sooners only gone for it 5 times on 4th down this season. Haven't had to. Empty backfield look. You'd expect a quarterback run and whistle before the play, and Oklahoma will spend a timeout to talk about it. We'll see what Riley has cooked up on 4th down and 5 when we come back. Goodyear providing aerial coverage, introducing the newest honorary member of the College Football Hall of Fame, the Goodyear Blimp. Goodyear, more driven. Taco Bell continues the Live Moss Student Section of the Year contest. The Baylor Bears got to be contenders. They are fired up tonight. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Use hashtag Live Moss Student Section Contest. Off the timeout, Oklahoma facing a 4th and 5 as they try to cut into this lead before halftime. Brooks is the back. Hurts back to throw, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. A flag is down in the secondary. Jordan Williams, who has been battling through an upset stomach throughout this drive,
the ball
made
was
a play.
tipped. There's no foul on the play.
And Jordan Williams coming through a lot in this drive, makes a play to end it.
Yeah, he can't get to the quarterback, but he's able to climb the ladder there at 6 feet tall and knock that ball away. I think Jalen Hurts has a first down there, but a great play by Jordan Williams, who's had a good night of rushing the quarterback, playing the ball, and that time knocking the ball down because he blitzes there and couldn't quite get there. Times it up perfectly.
One of the captains plays with motor and energy. Call that boot and rally.
Yeah.
Comes up with a big play to finish the drive. And so Baylor's defense continues to be a huge story in this first half. This was the personality of this team.
Defensive holding by number 11 of the defense. It's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Well, that certainly changes the complexion. That conference, even though the ball was deflected by Williams, the defensive holding stands. It wasn't a pass interference call, so the automatic first down and rule is hot.
Yeah, and the difference is if it's pass interference with a tip ball, then they're able to wave it off. There was a miscommunication. They were able to get together, find out it's defensive holding, and you don't wave it off with defensive holding.
Wasn't a whole lot, to be honest with you, by Big 12 standards.
Yeah.
He kind of tried to grab him. I don't know if he successfully did. But the penalty on their physical corner, Houston sets the Sooners up with a first down at the 23. And the defense has to go back to work. This is a real test.
Talk about catching a break for the Sooners. See if they're able to capitalize.
That's their first penalty tonight. Sooners in a two-back look. But Hurts keeps it. He has a couple blocks on the edge and is forced out at the 15. Picked up 8.
And again, they go back to that zone read where he's reading the best defensive lineman, James Lynch. Instead of blocking him, just read him. Make him have to make a decision. And Jalen Hurts again able to get wide of him and pick up 8 yards. Now they widen Lynch out there to the right of the offense.
Hurts still has the football, pressured, and fires it to the sideline. Terrell Bernard came after him. The crowd wants a grounding call. Don't get it.
Yeah, they collapse Lynch inside, and here comes Bernard and the pressure that he brings from his middle linebacker spot. See how he blows up those linemen that are pulling? Nobody left there to pick up Bernard, who's been active himself there at the second level of this defense.
See, he is outside of the pocket. Boy, Bernard's playing with a heavily wrapped right hand. That was a development, I think, since the start of this game. He's a guy that had 19 tackles in the win over TCU. Brooks inside. Excuse me, that's Stevenson muscling inside. It's a first down and goal now for Oklahoma.
They pick up the big first down there on 3rd and short. You're right about Bernard, Chris. You know, he's had to step up. They lost one of their great leaders in Clay Johnston after 6 games. Led the team in tackles, so they ended up moving Bernard, who was playing where Jordan Williams and they were kind of rotating. They moved him to the inside, and he's done a nice job of playing there for that leader, Johnston, who's been out.
On 1st and goal, Hurts took a quick look, now just takes off. Slams forward, ball on the ground again. It's another scrum at the 6-yard line.
Well, you talk about a collision between a quarterback and a safety in Henry Black. The football came loose, but you talk 2 guys hitting each other as hard as they possibly could there, because Jalen Hurts picks up momentum. Watch this hit here.
Listen to it.
Boom. Ball came out. Shield came off. Ball's out. Yeah, you see the shield off of his helmet. That was a big-time collision.
Hurts still in the game, empty backfield, looking to run again. Another big collision right at the 5. Once again, it was Chris Miller, the big hitter.
I'm telling you,
giving as good as he got there.
Phil Snow must have told his team, listen, Hurts is going to run the ball, and when he does, we are going to punish him. We're going to hit him from every angle and make him not want to run the football again. Because right now, these linebackers and 3, Chris Miller, they are lowering their shoulder at full speed into Jalen Hurts.
Can you kill the will of Jalen Hurts? I'm not sure that's possible. 3rd and goal. He has taken a couple of huge shots in the last 2 plays. Brooks is the back.
Another timeout by Lincoln Riley up at the top.
Jalen Hurts, 34-3 as a starting quarterback in Alabama, and here you're part of a championship team. He's done it all in the sport, and they are challenging him tonight. 3rd and goal when you come back. Big moment here, Cassidy. Oklahoma still down 25. It's been a long march. 3rd and goal from the 5. Hurts has time. Zips it. Touchdown. Catch made in traffic by Austin Stogner. True freshman tight end. His first career touchdown, and Hurts delivered a dart from the pocket.
Yeah, and really nice route by the freshman. I just want to make sure he held on to the football here. Looking more to the outside, back to the inside. Is able to hold on to that in traffic. A couple different defenders trying to get their hands on the ball. Really, really good timing there. And a good job. Calcaterra, their starting tight end, is out. So they relied on Lee Morris and Stogner to step up for him. And he does a nice job there securing that for a big touchdown for the Sooners.
Sooners have to work for it. They're helped by that defensive holding penalty, which prolonged the drive. They cut into the lead now, 28-10. Monday Night Football. It's a good one from Estadio Azteca, Mexico City. Mahomes and the Chiefs take on the LA Chargers. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and Chiefs Chargers 8 o'clock. Son las 8 on ESPN from Mexico City, ESPN Deportes, and the app. Chiefs just a half game ahead of the Raiders now in that divisional race.
So used to seeing OU score fast. That time 14 plays for their 75 yards and a touchdown.
Fleeks breaks free and bounces out near the 30. Chris Felica, the Bear, knows all about Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. He's got the athletic trivia question tonight.
Indeed, I do. Baylor looking to go 10-0 tonight. 2 years removed from a 1-11 season. Who is the only team in FBS history to start 10-0? 1 or 2 years removed from a 1 or 0 win season?
UCF comes to mind. It was a dramatic comeback in recent history. I sense that's too easy an answer.
Yeah, I don't think the Bear would go that route either.
Inside of 5 minutes before halftime. And Baylor back to work. Brewer has been an effective runner. You got to feel like the Sooners are going to pick up on that. Jalen Redmond stopped him there, and now a scuffle after the whistle.
Well, if you're an OU fan, you're kind of waiting for something to stop the bleeding, create a spark, and they are able to put that drive together. We mentioned 14 plays, 75 yards. That got the offense going. Now, you wonder if this defense can get back to playing with a little bit of an edge to them here. This is a big series for the Sooners yet again defensively.
Can they create a takeaway? There's been a drought. 5 games since they had a takeaway. Only 6 on the season. Brewer from the pocket delivers a long throw. Catch made, knocked down short of the first down is Chris Platt. And it'll be 3rd and about 5.
Nice job by Alex Grinch that time, mixing in some zone. The previous time that same play was called, it was man-to-man. They threw that same route, and the corner was not there to make the play on the football. That time, sitting in zone, he's able to make a play and set up this 3rd down.
Yeah, they give him forward progress, so it's 3rd and 3. It's the third down play this Baylor offense has had to face tonight. Brewer looking for the slant and delivers. Catch made. Sneed out of that slot position, catches the dart, first down near midfield.
Well, he's reading the safety here. He's got 2 slants coming in. He's going to kind of feel this safety right here. Whichever slant he jumps, he's going to go the other route. You see how he takes this slant? So he's got the next slant right behind that, and he's able to get it in. Good read, and again, Brewer in sync, in rhythm, reading this defense perfectly, play after play.
It's bad news, Kirk. Denzel Mims, the big play receiver for the Baylor Bears, he was limping all the way across the field, able to jog off. He's looking at his right calf. So, the man who has 2 touchdowns tonight on the sideline for the moment on first down. Hasty around the edge quickly. Slams right into Kenneth Murray. Physical tackle and about a 4-yard gain.
You know, a lot of people knock the Big 12. They don't play defense in the Big 12. That's been a knock over the years. All I know is tonight.
I've heard that.
Tonight in Waco, there's some collisions. I mean, we're seeing some people get hit tonight.
But it's justified to some degree.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying tonight I'm enjoying the contact.
Absolutely.
I'm enjoying seeing people get hit.
And the defense in green has been exceptional. On second down, Brewer again takes off and weaves his way and dives for another first down.
He's not going to wow you with his speed, but I'll tell you what, man, this guy is instinctive when he pulls it down on that quarterback draw, patiently waiting for the blocks to get downfield. He almost sets them up and then cuts behind them.
Short throw, and the catch is made by Fleeks. Brewer's a guy that followed Baker Mayfield at the football factory, the quarterback factory at Lake Travis High School. He was going to go to SMU. He had no Power 5 offers. Chad Morris, the connection with Lake Travis, until Matt Rule called him and said, you know what?
I hear you're a winner.
We got a job for you here. I hear you're a winner, right?
Yeah, I hear you're a winner. I've never seen you, or I know about your family. I've read up on you. It sounds good, but until his dad and Charlie came on campus, he really didn't know much about it.
Brewer delivers a shot across the middle. He may not wow you with the measurables, but he is a winner. Got to the state championship game, lost it as a junior, came back, won it as a senior. Talk about 6A. That's serious football down here.
Oh, man. Yeah, I tell you what, you play at Lake Travis, where it's high school football as far as the pressure. Think of Friday Night Lights. I mean, you take the field in for Lake Travis, you're 15, 16, 17 years old. I don't care what you face in college. I don't know if there's going to be anything as big as what you feel as a youngster playing high school football at a big-time program in this state.
So Mims back on the field. Baylor going to spend a timeout here, letting the play clock wind all the way down before they face this 3rd and 11, trying to add to an 18-point lead before the break here in Waco. Capital One halftime report. Kevin, Jonathan, Mark coming up. Much more on the Tua story. I'm sure opinions to follow on his situation, apparently done for the season, as well as what else has gone on, and they'll have their reaction to this electric first half with the Baylor Bears. Baylor's cashed in a couple of turnovers by Jalen Hurts into touchdowns, and now Brewer trying to build on this lead.
Chris Mims, who hobbled off, back out now. You'll see him just to the right.
Brewer on a hot streak. He's completed 11 of his last 12. Sooners rush just 3. Steps up and delivers a long throw. Catch made. First down. Mims inside the 30.
Same play as the touchdown where he gets man-to-man. We showed you pre-snap where he's going to work to the outside. Just work that post corner. Beats that defensive back every time. He had a nice cushion to work with. Gave him a little bit of an inside move against Motley. And once again, he and Brewer in sync.
Now looking to throw in first down. Wanted to take a peek down the end zone. Instead just takes off. And this time will slide down at the 22-yard line. Clock running. They still have 2 timeouts to work with.
That second timeout by head coach there, Matt Rule.
Chris Felica will give us the answer in the Athletic Trivia question, which seemed a little too obvious by your standards, Bear.
Well, sometimes the answer to the Athletic Trivia question, Occam's razor, does apply. It is UCF back there in 2015 when had the offer, and then 2 years later that magical season, and looks like Baylor off to a pretty good start in pursuit of 10-0 tonight.
It is, and Baylor, of course, the circumstances unique here. We talked about the scandal, and there were people around the country who were saying, I don't think they should be allowed to have a football program. Right. The Title IX violations were very, very serious. The nature of them, of course, extremely serious. The investigation technically continues here. They don't seem too worried about that, and now a chance to get to 10-0 with a milestone victory here.
I don't think with 41 seconds and 1 timeout, the way they played, they're not thinking about field goal. They're still attacking downfield and trying to find a one-on-one matchup that they can win against this OU secondary.
Need 3 for a first down. Still have the 1 timeout left.
Mims at the top, but they have a safety there to help. Moving to the middle.
He was looking that direction. Again, just takes off, weaves his way, knocked down. The clock will stop momentarily as they move the sticks.
A good job of getting the first down, and with that timeout, they were able to say, hey, we get a first down, here's our play, let's get it called. That way they can try to preserve as much time as they can. They need to pick it up here, hold on to that timeout.
Clock moving 25 and counting. Brewer from the pocket, delivers his short throw, getting out of bounds is Platt, so they keep the timeout, move the ball to the 16.
Well, they have a lot of receivers for this OU defense. Thornton, 81. Mims makes a lot of plays. You just saw Platt. Leaks can make plays, 21. R.J. Sneed. We got Jared Atkinson, who's a junior. I mean, you got 6 guys that they can throw the football to that they feel can win one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, they had 7 guys coming in with double-digit catches. That's a balanced receiving core. Brewer looking for the end zone, loops the ball over the head of Sneed, who was tangled up in coverage there, no flag. Bradley Hiles, the linebacker, was on him.
And fans booing. There was some pushing and shoving there by 44, Bradley Hiles. Again, if I'm Brewer, I'm looking into that secondary. I'm looking at the safeties. I'm trying to see where I can get one of my talented receivers matched up one-on-one. Mims again at the top.
Platt comes in motion. Brewer looking to the left, flushed, scrambling, fires, end zone, and was trying to get Hasty out of the backfield free. It's 4th down with 7 seconds, and here comes the field goal team.
Yeah, a nice job by the pass rush by the Sooners that time. Did not give Brewer much of a chance at all to let that play develop. Gallimore in the middle, watch 90 get a good push there, good athletic ability for the big fella. Oh, well over 300 pounds, and yet moves very, very quickly. It forced Brewer out of the pocket. That play really never had a chance. Good coverage as well.
A 13-play drive covering 61 yards, and now John Mayers, freshman, 28 yards, been very reliable this season, and he knocks it through. So Baylor adds to a lead, and it's going to be a 3-touchdown lead heading to the second half. And a team that felt disrespected by the playoff committee. Remember, no Power 5 team has ever been 9-0 and ranked down at 13. You could question their schedule. You cannot question the performance tonight, even though CeeDee Lamb isn't in there for Oklahoma.
No, you're right. But I think this was the opportunity. Minnesota had their opportunity last week. Of course, they lost today at Iowa City. But they had their opportunity to come off the radar with a big win, and they jumped. I felt all week that this is Baylor's chance to really show what they could do against the team that's respected in Oklahoma, and Lincoln Riley, Jalen Hurts. It's a half of football. Oh, you could still fight back in the second half, but so far so good as far as Baylor's concerned with the way they play.
Complete performance. The offense has been opportunistic. The defense has taken the ball away from Hurts twice. A huge interception return set him up. Arnold a 70-yard return, which gave the offense a nice short field. But that drive there at the end, they got the 4th down stop. Oklahoma had scored. Drive prolonged by a penalty, and then Baylor answers with 3. And it's a squib kick, which will just use up all the time in a half, assuming that they can tackle Trey Brown, and they do. The Bears spotted OU, a 3-point lead, roared back. What a first half for the 3rd-generation quarterback. 31-10. It'll be OU football to begin the second half. Kevin, Jonathan, and Mark coming up. The Capital One halftime report is after these messages.
NFL Primetime is back. Primetime's available Sunday through Wednesday only on ESPN+.
I want to introduce you to my kinfolk, to my old friends, to the house and the pines where the road is. Take you to my hometown.
Brewer going to keep it, and he scores standing up. Mims has got it. Touchdown, Baylor. And Baylor is pouring it on. The lead is 21 at halftime for the 10.9-0 underdogs. Welcome back. set for the second half on Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, in this presentation of the Big 12 on ESPN. Jalen Hurts, a difficult first half, and a fumble and an interception that set up Baylor scores, and now a lot of work to be done again without CeeDee Lamb, who was limited all week in practice and unable to go tonight. They get the football to begin the third quarter, Kirk, but a whole lot of work to do.
Yeah, this is where adjustments come into play for Lincoln Riley. They had a tough first half. This one thing to remember, they're on 21 points. And with the way this offense can score, and I know CeeDee Lamb is out, but they still have an offensive scheme that is built to score quickly. So if I'm in there in the locker room at halftime and I'm OU, I'm thinking, let's take this first drive, and let's put points on the board, get back in this game.
Rauschenberg drives the kick to the goal line, and Brown slips a couple of tackles, knocked down across the 25-yard line. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. We talked about the 2 turnovers for Jalen Hurts. The first was just a fumble. Ball went on the ground and was picked up by the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears have been attacking him all night. This caused the fumble, another blitz, but this is a miscue here. He puts the ball into traffic. Arnold able to come up with a big interception, but how about Charlie Brewer? 217 of the 238 yards in the first half, 77 on the ground, 140 through the air, and has accounted for 4 touchdowns. A dream start in that first half for Brewer.
And off the first play, it's Rambo. They try to involve the speedy sophomore receiver, picks up 6 on first down.
Yeah, and you'll see a little bit more tempo, not only because they're down 21, but I think they feel that that's a comfort zone for Jalen Hurts, and it gets Baylor maybe a little bit more on their heels.
Dumps the ball up to Brooks out of the backfield. He's got first down yardage, takes a big shot at the 37. Maria, what did you learn at halftime?
Well, Lincoln Riley told me, he told his team that they have to remember that they're not playing their game right now. They had those turnovers that put them behind. And he also said that CeeDee Lamb wasn't able to do much throughout the week, so they were able to game plan some without him playing with the offense. The reason why they let him warm up is because he wanted to be with his team, but now he's out here in street clothes, guys.
Well, Hurts hit as he throws the football. Hard hit, ball flutters to the turf, and the Bears' pass rush continues to be a big story.
Yeah, and good coverage downfield, but you know, this defensive line, we knew coming in that James Lynch had the ability to get there. And that time, Jalen Hurts hesitated just slightly, waiting for his receiver to break free, and it gave James Lynch enough time to apply that pressure and get his hand up there to knock that ball down.
Lynch is a guy that goes almost 300 pounds, plays with a ton of finesse in his game. Hurts, though, escapes. They left a big lane for him, and the quarterback again moves the sticks. First down across the 45.
This is a good job of recognizing blitz up the middle, and then you're going to see a lot of man-to-man coverage across the board. Watch how Jalen Hurts recognizes that. He sees this man clear out, this man blitzing, so he's got the alley right there to be able to take off and get yards. Clears out. The last thing you want to do is leave Jalen Hurts a chance to pick up yards like that.
Hurts gets the ball out quickly, and the catch is made on the far side there by Morris. And they are in business again, threatening inside the Baylor 40.
And they continue to work that slot to the right and to the left. This time, they catch Baylor in man, so when Morris makes that catch, he turns the corner. There's nobody there. He's able to take off and get those first down yards.
Play action, Hurts banged around to the pocket, delivers across. Morris hit hard, makes the catch. It'll be another first down.
Give the offensive line a lot of credit there, because Baylor's been getting after Jalen Hurts. Watch the pressure come from the right. Brooks, the back, does a good job just getting in the way, and then the vision downfield as he's getting banged around by Hurts to eventually find an open receiver. But Kennedy Brooks, coming off that play action look, does just enough to give his quarterback enough time to throw that.
Brooks, first down handoff, trapped behind the line. Hurts not used to being hit. He only sacked 10 times all season, been sacked 3 times tonight.
Yeah, different deal tonight. Phil Snow with his 3-3-5 is just saying, you know what, without CeeDee Lamb, we're going to take our chances. We don't care. Until you make us pay for it, we're going to attack. Phil Snow, a veteran defensive coordinator, been all over the country. Of course, came down from Temple when Matt Rule took this job, but he's blitzing his inside backers, his hybrid backers on the outside. We've seen Lynch and Williams coming. really turning up the heat on the line and on Jalen Hurts.
Play action again. Hurts takes off on second down. He eludes one tackler. Forward progress will take him to the 21. Houston stopped him. It'll be 3rd and 3.
I mean, even when he's able to make one guy miss, you know, there's 2 or 3 more green jerseys. There's positive yards by Jalen Hurts. You can see, again, they bring Lynch on the blitz. Now he's got some room. He makes Arnold miss, but there you go. There's the secondary. Able to keep him short of that first down. A good drive right now to start this second half by the Sooners. They need a touchdown here.
Hurts has run it 14 times tonight, more than the tailbacks combined. Looking to throw for it. Pressured. Flushed. Scans the field and flips it incomplete. Trying to fight back to the football there was Hazelwood. A flag is down near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be a hold on Oklahoma. Would have come back anyway. But how about the pressure again? We just talked about how they don't care. They're going to bring pressure with the blitz.
Now, do you take the penalty? It's going to be 4th and about 3. Do you back them up with the holding call?
By number 56 of the offense. The 10-yard penalty, and it's still 3rd down.
It's going to push him back and give him another down here.
Didn't want to.
I was with you.
4th and 3, they're going to go for it, clearly.
But I thought, with the way their defense has been playing, I thought he might consider that. But he pushes him back and gives Lincoln Riley, this offense, another down. Who can win? Who can win against man-to-man? Who can get separation for their quarterback?
Well, they're searching for answers, and they've spread the ball around to a variety of targets without the number 1 guy out there tonight, but have not really made a lot of dynamic Oklahoma-like plays downfield at all. 3rd and 13 now. It's Basquin motioning over to the right side. Bears standing up, coming after Hurts again, gets it out, and has a crosser wide open, and Rambo slips a tackle, stutter steps, still alive, knocked down hard, but it's 1st and goal, Oklahoma.
We wondered who would win. That's a mix-up with a crossing route right here. He comes across, nobody runs with him. They're in man-to-man, but nobody stays with him. Shallow cross, Rambo, because he comes underneath. Nobody, I thought Arnold might run with him, but he doesn't. So after he makes the catch, everybody else is in man-to-man. He's got nothing but real estate to pick up.
Oklahoma, it's a 28-yard gain in that 3rd and 13. Brooks is the back, on 1st and goal. He's got it. He's swarmed. He'll lose back to the 4. Bravion Roy. The nose tackle got there quickly.
Well, Roy's having a big night. You know, they've been rotating him in and out to try to keep him fresh. But, man, watch the line of scrimmage here. Down inside the 5-yard line. Look at the push by the green jerseys led by Roy. Again, they are pinning their ears, attacking between those tackles. Makes it very tough. OU's going to have to get out wide. Based on that motion, he saw man-to-man. He checks to a man-to-man play.
Play clock at 4. Brooks plows into heavy traffic, gains about a yard. It'll be 3rd down.
I'm telling you, man, that is a grind with this defensive line. Roy, Lockhart, Lynch, linebackers Bernard, Williams coming downhill.
Look at about an offense that averaged almost 7 yards per rushing play coming in, having to earn every inch tonight.
I'm surprised. I get Jalen Hurts with his athletic ability out on the edge. Give him a chance to run it or throw it.
And Hurts was looking to run, now tries to fire in the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Stogner, the tight end again, is becoming an unlikely touchdown scorer for this offense.
That is a great throw by Jalen Hurts, bringing Stogner back. Pressure again by big 93 James Lynch. But as he rolls out here, he's got to get rid of the ball. And watch where he ends up locating and finding. He brings it back away from the defender. which forced Stogner to have to come back. That was respect to the Baylor defender in that right corner, so he brings him back a little more to the middle. And you're right, the freshman tight end once again capitalizes to finish off that drive.
Big rangy dude, 6'6", just 237. First 2 career touchdowns, and the Sooners trim the lead to 14. Beautiful clear night in Central Texas. Goodyear providing the aerial coverage, recognizing those who strive to rise above the rest. Goodyear, more driven. The Sooners have driven with the second half kickoff, 74 yards and 12 plays. Without their big play receiver Lamb, it's a methodical looking drive. Took 5:44 to get there, but suddenly a 14-point game.
Well, I think we all had confidence that Lincoln Riley and Jalen Hurts and the offense would make the adjustments to give them a chance. It was a great opening drive. The big question is the OU defense against Charlie Brewer in this second half.
Burkett drives to kick off to the end zone. OU defense that allowed Baylor to score on each of its last 5 possessions of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Brewer has had a really good first half. A lot of quarterback draw. Look at him set up this block right here. He's kind of methodical with good vision, but he's been throwing the ball well. He's had some one-on-one matchups that they've been able to take advantage of downfield. Here he works through his progressions and eventually finds his main target here, Denzel Mims, for another touchdown, but accounted for 4 touchdowns and 217 yards in the first half alone.
Michael Hasty is the back. He's got the football, and he breaks free. Hasty, center step, loses it. Ball is out, and Oklahoma finally has a takeaway. Pat Fields recovers the fumble. They're going crazy over there because the 5-game takeaway drought is over. Parnell Motley knocked the ball out of Hasty's hands.
At first I was about to say, boy, they let up a huge run. One of their veterans, Kenneth Murray, not real gap sound. They just let this play pop. Watch this thing open up right through the middle, right here. Murray's got to make that play, right? Instead, he overruns it. Now they're in the open field. Now you got to count on a safety. They catch a break with Motley, the corner, ends up ripping the ball out, goes right into the hands of Fields, bounces up right there. As you said, Chris, first one since late September, but they get the ball back to the offense.
Yeah, fumble recovery against Texas Tech, and nothing since. And ironically, Hasty wrapped up 2 hands on the ball just when Motley punched it out. So a big momentum shift early in the 3rd quarter as the Sooners begin from their 45. Play action again. Hurts has plenty of time. Just dumps it off to Brooks, who cannot get free, penned in on the sidelines for a very short game.
Now you got Baylor, who builds a 31-10 lead at halftime against the OU Sooners on national TV in this big stage. Sooners come right back. Start this second half, they get a touchdown, they get a turnover. I think it's imperative that Matt Rule, Bill Snow, and his team continue to play with that aggressive mindset that they played with. They can't go into hold-on mode. They got to continue to do what they've done the entire game, and that's being aggressive.
Hurts on second down, looks to throw, fires near side, and the catch is made. Holding on after a big hit is Morris. It's a first down.
Yep, we keep looking for receivers to make plays. Give Morris some credit here. We saw A.D. Miller earlier make a few catches on that backside. This time Hurts works back to 84. And a good job, as you said, Chris, of holding on to that football. He got hit hard.
Brooks finds a little crease. Nice open field tackle by Chris Miller, but it's still a 5-yard gain.
Oh, you got away with a hold that time. Robinson, 52, grabbed a hold of Blake Lynch, and the offense, or the referee, just didn't see it. Watch 2 right here on the right side, right there. Just grabs a hold of him right in front of where the ball carrier was trying to go, but a no call.
Hurts, pump fake. It's a straight run, and he plows for another first down. Miller tackles him, but they're inside the 33.
Follows Hayes. Round and just kind of following. You see Oklahoma run this play over the years, just kind of a quarterback counter where he follows the back and also the left guard, outnumber the right side, or the left side of that Baylor defensive front. the beauty of having a running quarterback, basically a tailback with the skill set that Jalen Hurts has running the football.
First down again, plenty of time. Hurts escapes, and he'll be knocked down after another nice first down game by Terrell Bernard. Pretty one-dimensional, but it's tough to stop at the moment.
Yes, it is. You know, and that I think that was Phil Snow's biggest fear. You can draw things up to stop Jalen Hurts, but at the end of the day, what you can't predict is when he takes off. And you can have a plan, but your guys got to go out and tackle him. That's tough to do against a quarterback that's 6'2", 220 pounds.
And Hurts has got it, trying to get the edge this time. Ducks down a yard short of the marker.
I've been really impressed, Chris, with Jalen Hurts' attitude. I guess we shouldn't be shocked. I mean, this game has not gone the way they envisioned. He's been hit hard and hit often, and yet he keeps running this football, doesn't even blink. 17 carries. You have a feeling by the end of this game, he may carry it 30 times.
Yeah, what's the record for quarterback rush?
I don't know.
Modern era.
Holloway, Charles Thompson, I don't know who it is.
Brooks closes the ball, bouncing around, he got it back. Turnover averted, and it's a first down in the red zone. Very nearly a momentum switching play for Baylor.
And the safety, Chris Miller, coming up. I think he knocked the ball loose. Remember, he is a physical safety 3 right here. Yep, got his hand on the ball. That's what knocked it loose. How fortunate is Oklahoma, looking, fighting, scratching, clawing to get to that football before those green jerseys jump off.
The bouncing ball went right through the hands of Jamison Houston, the corner. From the 17, Hurts took a brief look downfield, shakes a tackle, and darts forward. You got to get him on the ground, even if you know he's going to run. Even if you have men in the area, you got to tackle this big, strong dude.
Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. Watch the right tackle. He's just trying to get downfield, trying to help out, trying to find somebody to pick up. He's got the running back there. Actually, a missed block there by Robinson, but that shows you what Hurts can do with his power to run out of that arm tackle.
There's a bear down. It's Miller on the far sideline. He was involved in the latest tackle with Hurts. He's had a bunch of collisions with the quarterback tonight. He's given away about 30 pounds in that matchup. We'll take a break.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's on ABC, is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Share the magic this season with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy Coca-Cola. And Chick-fil-A's new mac and cheese. Your dinner plans just got cheesier.
They reviewed the spot of the ball. Hurts carrying the ball in his right hand across the sideline, extended vertical, so it's not a first down. 2nd and 2. The ball spotted just inside the 10. Anything other than a Jalen Hurts run at this point? You're gonna roll the Ducks here. Brooks motions out to empty backfield. Yep. Quarterback takes off. You know it's coming. You can't stop it. It's 1st and goal.
Yep. Just gets behind those big offensive linemen. You know, the one thing about these Baylor linebackers, even though they have been incredibly aggressive tonight, they are undersized. And even if they're there, they're 218 pounds. Jordan Williams is small. Lynch, Bernard, you know, they're 218, 220-pound linebackers. They play with speed, not necessarily power.
This is why Jalen Hurts goes in the squat rack even after games.
Right.
Build that leg strength. Fires for the end zone. Tried to zip it high to Hazelwood. Incomplete. Houston in coverage. 2nd down.
And they try to catch him off guard here. You're thinking again, they're going to run, they're going to run, they're going to run with Hurts, and instead they try to get a one-on-one matchup. He tries to go high. You can see Hazelwood isn't the biggest. I mean, he is not 6'1". He tried to climb the ladder, but really never had a chance. Pretty good coverage out there as well.
Yeah, Miller leaping kind of took away the lane, didn't it? See if they go back to the quarterback run here on second down. Looking to throw again. Nope, it was just a fake. Loses the ball as he crosses the goal line. Baylor has recovered in the end zone. Did he break the plane? They're ruling it a fumble recovery by Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch knocked that ball loose before Jalen Hurts broke the plane. That ball is out. 93. The leader of this defense doesn't have a chance to make a play. He's not going to prevent him from getting to the end zone. Jalen Hurts is already by him, so what does he do? He just puts his right hand out to try to get to the ball, and he knocks it loose.
They're having a consultation. There was a flag at the end of the play. Here's another look.
Look at that right hand. He can't make the tackle, but he got his right hand on the ball. Ball's out well before he's even close to the end zone.
It'll be a third turnover by Hurts, a second fumble, and an enormous play by James Lynch. The big, hefty defensive end. Normally he's a pass rusher getting after quarterbacks, but reaches out, Kirk, and makes a play that could reverse momentum in this game.
What you love about that, kind of
symbolic. The ruling
symbolic.
on the field is that the ball was fumbled at the half-yard line into the end zone and recovered by the defense. That's a touchback. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct by number 54 for Oklahoma. It's a 15-yard penalty, and it's first down.
That is crucial because it gets the Bears out from the shadow of their own goal line.
I just think that that play is symbolic of who Baylor has been in 2019 on this 9-0 run with Matt Rule. You look at the progressive pylon cam to see that he fumbles that ball. But look at Lynch, Chris. He's the leader of this defense. Jalen Hurts is by him. He's not going to make a play, but instead of giving up on the play, he just tries to reach for the ball to knock it loose.
You wonder who James Lynch is. He's a guy that was hurt against West Virginia. Mountaineers are trying a field goal down the end. Lynch goes, I'm going back in the game, blocks the field goal. They preserve a 3-point win.
Yep.
So that is not the first clutch play that he's made, that forced fumble. And now Brewer be trapped behind the line by Ronnie Perkins. Here's the penalty after the play. Hayes there shoving Bernard.
Probably could have been offsetting there as far as what was being said back and forth between the two players. But Chris, I'll just say this too, that I don't know about you, but if Oklahoma scores there and it's 31-24, they've controlled things in the second half. Wouldn't you have had that feeling? Baylor had to lead.
Uh-oh. It would have been a serious uh-oh. Now can the Bears offense get the rhythm back? Again, 5 straight scoring drives. They benefited from some good field position after the takeaways in the first half, but there's some urgency here because their defense is on its heels.
And that play right there by Pat Fields, remember he's 5'11", working up against some bigger receivers. That's the first time they've stopped that corner route. Baylor has hit that. They've been in sync. They've hit Mims on a lot of them, but that time much better coverage by Fields, almost anticipating the route.
Lovett is the back. Sooners were showing some pre-snap pressure before Baylor paused to take a look. Play clock is winding down at 4. Brewer's got to hurry. Just gets it off. They come after him. It's a screen. Dumped down. And a nice open field play made to just slow down Lovett enough for the cavalry to arrive, and they stopped him short of the marker.
Yeah, it was Parnell Motley, the corner, who jumped up and didn't quite make the tackle, but he got underneath the block by the lineman that was out in front, Keith. And by doing that, he actually forced Lovett to lose his balance and didn't let him pick up the momentum, and eventually he would have been able to pick up the first down. Good effort there by the secondary, which has been the much maligned secondary over the last 3 games.
Sooner defense does its job. The tackle for loss on first down was crucial in that series. Power boots it away. Stoops will let it bounce, and it will roll dead down inside the 10. Inside of 3 minutes in quarter number 3. Oklahoma back on offense, still down by 2 scores. College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper at the Dr. Pepper Museum here in Waco. Semifinals are the 28th of December in Atlanta and in Glendale. Superdome is the site of the championship game. Penn State and Ohio State. College game day built by the Home Depot headed to Columbus next Saturday.
Be a great scene there. Buckeyes beat Rutgers today 56-21. Penn State, a battle against Indiana, but got it done at home.
Hurts on first down, batted down at the line. Yeah, Penn State, an 18-play, 9-minute drive to bleed out the clock against Indiana. KJ Hamler leaving the game. His status is going to be a major concern for that game next week.
Yeah, Tom Allen doing a really good job. Once again, Jordan Williams, the linebacker, up in the air. Second time we've seen him time that up and knock the ball down.
Hurts keeps it on second down, waited to the last second to pull the ball out from Brooks and picks up about 7.
Yeah, he's reading the linebacker flow there, just trying to get a feel. It's a power read, meaning he's going to either give that to the back or he can pull it out depending on how the linebackers flow. They're flowing outside with the back, and that's why he ended up pulling it out of there and trying to cut underneath that right guard who was pulling.
3rd and 3. Another big play potentially for this Baylor defense to get off the field quickly here. They come after Hurts. It's picked up. He gets the ball out, and the catch is made in the fingertips by Lee Morris. A nice throw at first down.
And a great throw that time by Jalen Hurts. Again, Phil Snow decided to bring that pressure. Means he got one-on-one. There's the linebackers. They give him enough time. They're closing in on him, but he sits in a pocket, puts it out there where Morris can get his hands up to make a play. And Morris, nice job of getting separation against 22, J.T. Woods. That's execution. Wondered who would step up. CeeDee Lamb is out. It's a nice job by Morris.
Hurts now looking to throw on first down. Scanning, will tuck it, and takes another big hit, but picks up 6 on first down.
There's no contest on who's the toughest guy. When you talk about all these quarterbacks, this guy's having this kind of year, this guy's having this kind of year. I mean, it's been talked about, it's well documented, his story. But watching him tonight, I mean, he's getting hit hard, and he's not flinching. He just keeps going back, keeps making plays, doesn't hesitate at all when it's his number to be called to run this football, whether it's a design run or a quarterback scramble.
22nd carry.
And he does it so calmly, you know, with his facial expressions.
They come after Hurts again. Delivers incomplete, and no flag in coverage there, trying to get the ball to Weiss.
Yeah, I think he got his right hand around Barnes in coverage. Watch him work around. Yeah, he grabbed there. Yep, he grabs. I'm surprised they didn't call the left hand to grab on the jersey. I think what they saw was maybe the right hand not interfering. He worked around the receiver. There's no question he was grabbing with that left hand without the jersey.
Baylor gets away with one. It's another chance to get off the field here. Final minute of the quarter. 3rd and 5 now. Pressure again. Hurts gets it out. Catch made by Weiss, who makes a man miss. Spinning free. Different Sooners stepping up with Lamb out. Again, a first down to the 48.
He's got crossers here, kind of a mesh concept. He's trying to look downfield. This, again, requires the offensive line to be able to do a good job of giving him time. Here's his receiver that's clearing. That mesh route causes some traffic for the defense, makes it tough to stay with your man in man-to-man, and Henry Black that time got caught.
Hurts takes off again. Lowers the shoulder and picks up 8 on first down. Jordan Williams on the tackle, Kirk. They have run now 30 plays offensively in this third quarter. That has got to be wearing down an undersized Baylor defense.
And they're trying to rotate to stay fresh. Up to 67 plays for the game. You know what? Jalen Hurts doing a good job. When they're blitzing those linebackers and safeties, he's recognizing either the ball out or take off and run for the scramble.
Last play of the quarter, completion again, and this is Morris down to the 30. 31 offensive plays. The Bears ran, I believe, 4 off the top of my head as Oklahoma cuts the lead to 14 and is threatening as we begin the final quarter here in Waco. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Beautiful harvest moon in Waco. Oklahoma cut the lead from 21 to 14, but you will not find a more lopsided quarter of college football in those 3 categories. 31-4 in the plays. Baylor gained 38 yards in those 4 plays. Remember, they had the turnover. So Oklahoma begins the final quarter down 14, but on the Baylor 30. After that kind of punishing possession, you wonder what the Bears defense has left, Kirk, for the 4th quarter here. Hurts out of a 2-back look, flips it to Stevenson. He gets a block from Morris on the edge and picks up 5 more on first down.
Nice safe throw there on 1st and 10. Gets the ball out onto the perimeter and into the hands of a playmaker in Stevenson at 236 pounds and can get their tempo going. We wondered who would step up. One of the guys is Lee Morris, and even on this drive, 84, he's in the slot to the left. Really made some plays tonight with Lamb out.
Stevenson, he's a big physical dude trying to hammer downhill. They stop him a couple yards short, but these guys in green, they waited a long time to have this big stage, to seize this moment. It was a party in here in the 2nd quarter. Now a whole bunch of dudes in that side of the ball having to dig very deep here.
And Phil Snow continues trying to rotate, trying to stay fresh.
They come off the edge with pressure. Stevenson hit, and he'll be stopped short just by McVay. It'll be 4th down and about a yard.
Boy, that is a great play, Chris. It just does not hesitate, kind of waits, looks to see where he needs to fire. Hadn't been playing a lot, but you'll see 42 just get in there, and once he sees that he's free to make that play, he just lowers his shoulder to keep him short of that 1st down. Waits.
I think they gave him a generous spot based on where he appeared to be down there. Baylor's going to spend a timeout on defense. That seems like a wise move. Rule asking his guys to suck it up and get a stop. Fourth down play, a generous spot, makes his 4th and a half yard. Should be 4th and 2. The knee of the runner was down. They chose not to review it for some reason. So they got to make the 20 to keep alive another long drive. Hurts fights forward. The spot would have made the difference. We'll show you the play. It's a 1st down inside the 20.
And Chris, I thought Jordan Williams had him in the backfield short, but Jalen Hurts fought through that. We're going to go back and look. When we were away, we were taking a peek at this previous play of Stevenson.
Watch the knee. Watch where the knee goes down here, where the football is. The knee is down right there. You're telling me that's a half yard from the 20-yard line?
Well, that's the 22-yard line.
That's a yard and a half bad spot on a 4th down play.
Yeah, the ball would be at the 22. Now watch on the right edge. Watch Jordan Williams again. Right there, he's got him, but there's that leg drive of Jalen Hurts that gives him that 1st down.
All credit to Hurts and the stuff, but they got the push. They got the 1st down. But that call just, Dave Kataya's up here saying that because it did not involve a 1st down gain, they're reluctant to use the technology. That just is ludicrous to me.
Especially in a game like this where that every yard counts. By the way, they're reviewing this.
Oh, now they're going to review. Okay. Well, Cooper and Gene Semko, the replay official, you're a play late.
Yeah.
Difference between 4th and 2 and 4th and a half yard is obvious there. Oklahoma, meanwhile, Kirk, 4 straight possessions have been 10+ play drives as they continue to just throw body shots at this Baylor defense.
Yeah, and Baylor, like I said, they've been rotating
the ruling
more
on the field
in
of
this
the 1st
half.
down is confirmed. 1st down.
They've had to rotate more in this 2nd half just because of the amount of plays they've defended. Oklahoma up to 72. We have 13 minutes to go in this game. I mean, they're going to be, you got to think, up in the 90s by the time we're done.
So Hurts and Brooks figure just to keep grounding and pounding against this Baylor defense. It's a 1st down throw instead. And the catch is made by Weiss, who spins it free and is going to score. And Oklahoma cutting the lead to just 1 score. As the freshman from Allen Scores for just the second time this season.
Here come the Sooners. It's a wink of the eye there by Jalen Hurts. Lincoln Riley told us this week on our call, it's a matter of time to these younger freshmen start to make plays in the second half of this season. Pylon kid gives us the loss, but I'm just telling you, these young receivers, you can see why they're so excited about what these guys can do.
A 90-yard, 13-play drive. Took just a second under 5 minutes. And now, with 12:58 to play, it is a one-score game. And this Baylor offense, Kirk, it's barely been on the field since the second quarter. Is going to have to get its rhythm back because Theo Weiss spins free. And the Sooners are right back in it.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. In part by Pacific Life, 150 years strong, protection and retirement solutions for your future. And Ford, where Black Friday is in full swing.
First time to wake up, you got to try the gut pack. Fritos on the net. There's a lot of good places to eat. I like your facial expression, Kirk. You can eat really well here in town.
You have that way?
I know. Well, a long time ago. First time here.
Oh,
one and done.
Uh-oh.
Kind of the fake onside kick by the Sooners here. And Baylor's offense is going to have to rediscover some rhythm. They're going to have to give a rest to this tired defense because the Sooners have just been pulverizing them ever since halftime. Fleeks. Stopped at the 22. The All-State bus in Waco. Curtis Wilson keeping us honest. And the mayhem in a busy Saturday in front of the Magnolia Market there. What is the mayhem moment?
Well, we went in thinking there could be mayhem in Iowa City. The Gophers undefeated. A lot of drop passes today. And the Hawkeyes capitalize on playing in Kinnick and making a lot of good plays early in this game, and then made some plays on defense, got some turnovers, and ended up knocking off unbeaten Minnesota at number 8, 9-0, and it was mayhem there in Kinnick.
It was a party here in the second quarter, but it is tense now. The lead is just 7. Oklahoma's defense has stepped up lately, and Baylor's offense needs to get back to, as he said, letting it rip. Matt Rule said that was the plan coming into the game, and they did.
Yeah, let it rip. And when you have your chances with the football, look at the plays in the second half. Oklahoma 36-5. Look at the time of possession, total yards. That's what's gotten Lincoln Riley and his team back into this football game. And now it's up to Charlie Brewer and this offense to answer.
And Brewer, who was such an effective runner in the first half, is going to be swallowed up by Ronnie Perkins, and that loss will make it 3rd and long.
Well, they did a nice job here this time taking away that quarterback draw. Adjustments, because in the first half there's a play that was effective. This time getting off of blocks. Perkins does a nice job of cleaning it up, but the linebacker in the middle there took it away. Nowhere for Brewer to take off on a play that was very successful in the first half.
Can he make a play with his arm to move the 6 on 3rd and 9? As time from the pocket delivers a long throw, and it's dropped. Bobbling the ball was Tyquan Thornton. Had a chance to pick up a crucial first down. Could not hold on. It's another 3 and out.
He did everything right except catch the ball. Great route. Turns the defender around. Just doesn't secure it for the first down. Ball perfectly thrown. Just hold on to it right there, Thornton. And instead, they do not convert. And OU's going to get the ball back again.
Kirk, you think about when they have had the ball here. Hasty, the big run, but the fumble. Thornton with that crucial drop. And Oklahoma's sideline energized and fired up. And Stoops is the man who's going to try to field this ball, which bounces by him. He did not touch it, and it'll be finally down at the 22. John Mayers went all the way down there. The kicker covering it. He's the punter they send out there as the pooch punter. And now Jalen Hurts will go back to offense and try to tie this football game. Well, 3 turnovers by Jalen Hurts, Kirk, but a ton of toughness.
That's what we talked about, how this team has confidence to be able to come back, even with CD Lamb out. Their quarterback has made plays, throwing and running, and also just being able to dissect man-to-man, making a throw here to Lee Morris, who has 6 catches, all for first downs. Here, run-pass option. He sees that he's got a route open on the outside, gets it to his playmaker, Weiss, who makes a few people miss and gets into the end zone. And just like that, Sooners down 7 with 11:26 to go and all the momentum.
It was 28-3 in the second quarter. Their touchdown they got to cut into the lead on a defensive hold that prolonged the drive. But now another touchdown that can get dead even from the 23. Pass slipped to Rambo in the flat, and he weaves his way for about a 10-yard gain.
Nice job again. They've gone to that to start drives. Quick pass just out to the edge, out on the perimeter, whether it's been dumping it out to Stevenson or Brooks, one of the backs. This time they get it out to Rambo. And the reason that's important is kind of a jump start to the drive. Quick, easy throw. Now they get the tempo going.
And this Baylor defense, which has been on the field almost non-stop since halftime, has to find the energy to tackle some very physical players. There's a 2-yard gain. Roy tackles Brooks.
Watch as Oklahoma, as they go tempo, are they substituting? Are they giving Baylor a chance to rotate themselves with the Oklahoma's offense to try to get fresh bodies in there? They've done a pretty good job of rotating throughout this game the best that they can, but it's taking a toll. You can tell, especially on the defensive lineman in the middle, Roy.
Play action, Hurts flips the ball off, underhanded forward. Lynch was there. They're going to rule the.
Chris, I think he was throwing it to Willis, 81. I mean, he had a couple of different guys there. How about the pressure here? See, right here, I think he's just trying to get it, just dump it there. He's also got 26 Brooks. Yeah, he's throwing to 81 that time. Braden Willis.
Interesting decision. Got away with the incompletion. Makes it 3rd and 8. Crowd just imploring this Baylor defense to get a stop. Hurts in the 3-man rush, has plenty of time. Brooks makes a man miss, and they move the sticks again. An open field tackle missed, and the running back makes a play.
What did they tell us in the meeting? Biggest thing they've got to do is tackle in the open field. Here's an opportunity, coming in with a lot of speed with Blake Lynch, but unable to make that play.
And now Hurts from the pocket looks to launch it downfield, dumps it off to Brooks, who is stopped in Baylor territory after a 5-yard gain.
You know, Blake Lynch has been making most of those plays all night, but it's a sign of what fatigue can do to you when you get into that 4th quarter. It's like a boxer gets into that 11th or 12th round. It's a very, very different game right now for this defense.
There's a flag. He gave the fake clap, but it wasn't the Bears who flinched. It was the offensive line.
Number 52 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Tyrese Robinson. Move it back to 2nd and 10 now.
What I love about Jalen Hurts is through adversity, his facial expressions rarely change.
Sure doesn't.
You know, he fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line. He's thrown touchdown passes. You get the same look on his face for 4 quarters.
As a blocker, Brooks leads him. Hurts spun down a yard short of the marker at the 45.
Again, on this quarterback draw, it's kind of a read. He's waiting to see if he can get the ball out or if he's going to take off. Just reading those linebackers to see what kind of depth they get. If they get deep enough, he's going to take it, follow the back, follow the guard, Hayes, and he gets very, very positive yards there.
Remember, the last 4 Oklahoma drives, at least 10 plays. Last time they had it was a 90-yard march. They substituted, which gives Baylor the chance to bring in some fresh bodies in that front. 3rd and a yard. Brooks, first down, makes a cut, wrestled down at the 35, and the drive continues.
Boy, nice cut, Nice job in the middle of that offensive line, opening things up. Humphries had a big challenge tonight, but he keeps battling in there. That time Hayes helped him out. Nice block as well by Stevenson. That thing opened up there on 3rd and short.
Play count now 80 for Oklahoma, 43 for Baylor, just 7 in the second half so far for the Bears. Play action, slant, catch made by Hazelwood, 1st and 10 inside the 20.
Another freshman. CeeDee Lamb is down. Who's going to step up? How about the freshman Hazelwood? Soft coverage that time against Houston. Time to throw because they're mixing run with pass. Sits back there, waits for his man to break free, and puts a dime out there.
Brooks to the far left of the formation, empty backfield on 1st down. Play clock at 4. Hurts zips it far side against a cushion. Miller makes a catch, and the veteran knocked out at the 11.
You saw him see empty. He looks at coverage. He makes a check. The reason he went to that is because you have 1 defensive back and you've got 2 receivers out here. They can't cover both. So he sees that. That's that experience again that you get with Jalen Hurts. Recognizing that, didn't look over the sidelines for help. He saw that on his own, saw a 2-on-1 situation back into the boundary and capitalizes on some good yards.
2-back look on 2nd and 2. Handoff, Brooks. Knocked down. You're talking about a team without its playmaker that has had to completely change its personality. They've gone from lightning strike downfield throws to just a grinding old school offense here.
Think about their drives in his second half. We've seen a 14-play drive. We've seen that was a touchdown, a 12-play drive, 11-play where he fumbled at the 1-yard line, 13-play drive for a touchdown. This is play 11 right here.
Usually they're a Ferrari. This is just a Mack truck in 1st gear, not banging forward methodically.
Not to mention you're down 31-10, right?
Yeah.
And there isn't a sense of panic. Keep in mind, when you watch Jalen Hurts, think of the games he's played in as he was a freshman. Got all the way to a national championship, right, against Clemson. He played in the Iron Bowl against Auburn. He's been in the SEC championship. Did that his sophomore year. I mean, this is a high-pressure game, but nothing that he hasn't been through throughout his career.
Still got it. Flips it in the flat. Catch made by Stevenson. Knocked out just short of the pylon. It'll be 3rd down.
I thought he was going to be able to turn the corner with that speed and dive to that pylon, but just not quite able to get there. But again, a positive play here. Watch, this guy's 236 pounds trying to get to that corner, but Baylor's speed keeps him from getting there.
13th play of this marathon drive.
86th overall.
Hurts rolls, looks for the end zone. Touchdown, wide open is Braden Willis. Oklahoma, a PAT away from tying the football game.
Safety's eyes got affected here. Gonna have a tight end work outside, work out here. Watch this safety and this safety. Watch their eyes get caught up in Jalen Hurts and jet motion. Nobody picks up the tight end. It's sliding out into the back of that end zone for another touchdown. They're an extra point away from tying it.
Another long march. 77 yards. 6 minutes on the clock. A 25-point deficit has been erased. Pacific Life game summary is the quarterback comparison. It was all Charlie Brewer in the first half. He ran for 5 first downs. He was efficient throwing the football. This was a 25-point lead. Then Jalen Hurts, despite the 3 turnovers, has taken over as a runner and a thrower.
Brewer had 140 passing yards in the first half. He has 16 in the second half, and he had 77 rushing yards in the first half. And because of sacks, he's now negative in his second half.
Hasty And the kickoff return knocked out at the 22, and Baylor will come on offense and run just their 8th play. But they only know the hard way. Here's the walk-off field goal at Iowa State. That was a nice win. Texas Tech, they were down in this game, rallied, won it in double overtime. Here's the blocked field goal we talked about to preserve the 3-point win against West Virginia, and this crazy triple overtime game. 3 field goals in regulation, 3 touchdowns in overtime. Very different kind of game here for Matt Rhule's team. Got to find a way for this offense to make plays. The first down throw, they take a downfield shot to Mims, who was just tackled. Parnell Motley was going to get beaten, just grabbed him.
See, I love this call because you go right back to your playmakers that were making plays in the first half and believe in them. If they're going to leave your talented receiver Mims one-on-one against Motley, you got to try to beat him. You got to try to take that.
By number 11 of the defense.
And if you don't execute it, maybe you get the pass interference call, and that's what they did.
Mims is the guy that really hurt the Sooners. He's been their big receiver all year long. Couple of touchdown receptions. Ball moved to the 37 on the penalty. Brewer has been a clutch quarterback his whole life, both in high school and here at Baylor. He's been a master in tight games in the fourth quarter. With a handoff to Ebner. Back there getting back healthy to hope he can make some big plays tonight, but he's been hemmed in. Murray and Perkins on the stop.
Yeah, Murray getting downhill in a hurry, but also Turner Yell, the safety, working down. They just overload the box there. There's nowhere to run with the ball. Murray's here. Safety late breaking down. Nobody picks him up, and I don't know where you can go if you're Ebner. Nice job there by late movement with this defense by Alex French.
Mims on the right side. Again, it's Motley in coverage. Brewer looking the other direction. Now tries to spin free. Chased by Perkins. Looking for a man. Fires on the sideline. It's incomplete. Trying to fight back to the football there was Sneed. But it'll be 3rd and 11, Kirk.
Yeah, when they need pass rush, you know, they've been blitzing at times with Murray. I'll tell you, Ronnie Perkins has been able to get in there. And if he doesn't get his hands on Brewer, at least he's forcing him to get out of the pocket. That's what he did there.
In this Baylor offense, serious urgency. You're going to give the ball back to Hurts in a tie game with a fatigued defense. You will, unless you can make 11 yards here. Brewer has time. Looks for Mims down the sideline, just over his outstretched hands. They had 2 men covering him, and it's 4th down.
And they did their scouting report. They looked at the film. They know when the game's on the line that Brewer's going to look that way. They actually backed off. Little stutter and go. Motley backs off. He also, you said, Chris, had Pat Fields, the safety, over top. But that play never had a chance. Motley, instead of being uptight and press man, backed off right as the ball was snapped.
Isaac Power, punt to Snoops. Stoops just barely avoided a mistake the last time. He kind of hand near that rugby punt, didn't touch it. And they have roughed the punter. Oh my goodness, Oklahoma with a mental mistake as they came after Isaac Power. Now, only the personal foul resulted in a 1st down. It's 4th and 11, remember.
I mean, if any, it looks like he's running into the punter. I think there's some pretty good acting by the punter. I don't think he roughed.
Not roughing, yeah, I shouldn't have said roughed. He did get contacted, but it's only the 5-yard variety.
Yeah.
Ran into the extended leg.
Power did his best to go down, but yeah, it's just running in to the punter.
Running into the kicker by the defense. He hit the kicking leg. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's 4th down.
Rule asking for some clarification. If you can hit the extended leg, and that's usually just a 5-yard penalty. If you hit the plant leg or knock him down, 15. It's a personal foul.
Yeah, I think Matt Rule, I think they're trying to figure out if he declined it, or can you push him back 5 yards at the spot.
It'd be 4th and 6 if they accept the penalty, and they'd repunt it, you would presume. He's buying some time for a tired defense, perhaps, which you have to think is a strong move.
Yeah, he's going to wave it off.
Decline. It's first down.
This defensive team has been outstanding. The #1 scoring defense in the Big 12. They got off to a great start tonight, but they have had no answer for the power running Jalen Hurts and some clutch passes to very unheralded receivers who have stepped up with Lamb out tonight.
Yeah, they sure have. Hurts has again played incredibly well. 25 carries tonight. He's 28 of 39. We've seen Morris and Rambo. We've seen the young freshmen step up and make a few plays here late with Weiss and Hazelwood.
The Baylor team that's won 2 multiple overtime games. If you ask this crowd right now, I think they take overtime. They'd like their chances in OT because they have not been able to stop Hurts in this offense. They come after Jalen on first down, and they've sacked him. It's about a 4-yard loss. Jordan Williams, who's just been playing sick tonight, makes a play.
Here's the key right here with late movement. They're able to get pressure. See how he stunts late, catches the offensive line off guard, and the left guard, left tackle are occupied by a couple of defenders, but the middle linebacker there, Bernard, timed that up perfectly.
4th sack for Baylor. Oklahoma had only given up 10 all year. On 2nd and long, Brooks on the edge. Slips a tackle and is in the clear. Kennedy Brooks rolling into Baylor territory to the 45.
This power read. Nice job by Hurts reading this, getting him outside. Now you need receivers to block. They do their job, man. All 3 of them picked up nice blocks downfield. So instead of an 8 to 10 yard gain, he's able to pick up 20 or 30.
Yeah, it's a 32-yard run. And Oklahoma, after trailing 25, threatening now to take the lead. Hurts again escapes and has room and runs straight north and south and slides for a first down at the 34.
Well, you blitz one linebacker and the other one gets caught up in man coverage. Here's a blitz, and watch him in coverage. He puts his back to Jalen Hurts. You get the one blitz. Now you've got nobody left, right? There's nobody in the middle of the field. If you don't get to him, you're in trouble, and that's exactly what happened. You got one defender that's occupied looking at coverage, another one that blitzed and ends up missing, and now you got a lot of room for him to take off and get yards.
Play action, Hurts back pedals, fires down the middle into traffic, and it's incomplete. Tejada was in coverage. Theo Weiss, the freshman who caught the touchdown earlier, was the intended receiver.
One-on-one. One-on-one late in the game. You've defended 90 snaps. You're out there on an island. Who's going to win that matchup? And Lincoln Riley, who's been doing a lot with Jalen Hurts' legs and a lot of quick throws, tries to take advantage of a shot downfield as the Bears are there to defend it.
Big cushions for these Oklahoma receivers. And Hurts flips it over the middle. Catch made in traffic by Morris, who's going to have first down yardage at the 21.
And nice job of just sitting down. They've been mixing up man and zone. Morris does a nice job of feeling that soft spot in the zone coverage and just settles down in there. They did play action to affect the eyes of the linebackers. And then Jalen Hurts is able to put that ball right where he needed to for Morris.
Clock approaching the final 2 minutes. Low snap, gets by Hurts, scoops it up. Desperation heave out of bounds. Almost a disastrous, massive loss. Hurts has to retreat and keeps calm under.
That's what I was going to say is instead of just falling on it, the bad snap. Okay, now you got to try to get it, pick it up, and then he picks it up. Now he knows he's outside of the pocket. Now I just got to get it past the line of scrimmage. Really good play to save a lot of yards at a critical moment in this game with 2:01 left.
Absolutely. If he falls on that ball,
oh yeah,
they're out of field goal range for the moment. It's 2nd and a mile.
Great play.
Brooks, hard-hitting run, bangs forward for about 4. It'll be 3rd down. Williams and Bernard combining on the tackle. Third down play. Bears spend a timeout. Final 2 minutes. Tied up. Goodyear bringing you the aerial coverage. The best part of every kickoff is the drive that comes next. Go further with Goodyear. More driven. For a wrap-up show right after the game. Will it end in regulation? Will we be headed to overtime? Oklahoma, once down 25. Tries to take their first lead since it was 3-0 early.
A lot of these critical third downs, he's been able to find Lee Morris to his right slot.
Looking that direction. Ball pitched off underneath to Rambo. He is stopped short. Fourth down coming up from the 14.
Matt Rule right away jumps out onto the field, uses that last timeout as OU's going to face a fourth down.
So the field goal team figures to come out to give the Sooners a lead after this break. Gabe Burkich, the freshman, hasn't missed this season. Hasn't had to kick too many pressure field goals, though. And Oklahoma moving it 59 yards in 8 plays. Baylor this time stops him short of the end zone. Now for the first time since it was 3-0, Oklahoma once down 28-3, tries to go up by 3. This from 31 yards for the lead. Baylor, an excellent kick block team. They blocked 5 kicks this season. A couple of field goals, PAT, a punt. It's a big part of their MO.
Prior to the snap, delay of game.
I think OU's wondering if they got a timeout in. I saw Lincoln Riley, as the clock was going down, he jumped to the official to try to get it.
Correction. Prior to the snap and prior to the clock expiring, Oklahoma called a timeout.
Take a very quick break. More time for Burkich to think about this go-ahead attempted field goal. Burkich is known for getting the ball off the ground. Good lift initially on the kick, which makes it tough to block. But again, Baylor has been very good at this. So after a timeout, 31 yards for the lead. No problem for the freshman. Still perfect on the season. And Oklahoma is in front. And now Charlie Brewer is going to have to try to lead yet another come-from-behind drive. This was routine for the young guy. Brewer has made a specialty of this 5 times in his career. Had come-from-behind drives in the 4th quarter. That doesn't count 2 other drives when he got him down and they got to overtime and won the game. Jalen, I'm not going to look, but it's no problem.
Yeah, with the kicker we have, I'm confident that it's going to be good. Matt Rule's looking for Charlie Brewer to say, hey, we've been here, as you said, Chris, and been here, done this. It's time to go down and lead your team to either a game-tying field goal or let's go try to win it. Remember, they're out of timeouts.
But it's a different field because things were so easy for this offense. They were benefiting from takeaways, great field position. They were scoring at will against Oklahoma. Haven't had the football hardly at all after halftime. So you're asking him to come in pretty cold. And they had a couple of nervous-looking mistakes in the second half on offense as well. A fumble and a drop. And what would have been a drive-extending catch. Chick-fil-A bringing you the college football rankings. You'll see Oklahoma sitting there at number 10. Chance to move up with Minnesota losing. Baylor off this board at 13. Looked like they were going to have a statement win and jump into the top 10. But now work to do.
Yep, see the teams up top. Most of them cruised. Georgia got pushed by Auburn, able to hold on at Jordan-Hare. 21-14. Oregon just getting started. Utah up big.
What can they count on here? Mims has been the weapon. He's caught a couple of touchdowns. He's off to the left. Brewer's looking that way. To give him a little cushion. And he will fight and stretch for about an 8-yard gain.
Remember, out of bounds in first downs, the only way the clock will stop. Charlie Brewer's worked on this every week in practice. Good against good, and now you got to execute against the OU defense.
He's been doing this since he was a middle school quarterback. In traffic, knocked down. Perkins got him, and the clock will continue to roll on the sack.
Yeah, this is where the offensive line, the receivers, you still have to maintain your poise, even though that clock is working down. It's a big third down here. He's got to find that matchup that he likes. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to Mims at the bottom.
On third down, he does look to that left side, but it's Snead making the catch, and they have a first down.
Soft coverage allows him to get to the outside and not only picks up a first down, but obviously getting out of bounds stops that clock.
John Mayers, the kicker, made a 51-yarder at the end of regulation to force overtime, but that's about the extent of his range. They've got to get the ball near the Oklahoma 33, 32-yard line. Mims still alive on the catch. Makes a move, is stopped at the 40.
Very surprised at Alex Grinch and OU in such soft coverage. Mims limping off, their go-to man. Such soft cushion against all four of the receivers, giving them the easy release off the line of scrimmage.
Clock running again inside of 40 seconds as Brewer from the pocket looks across the middle, almost intercepted. Had it in the hands and dropped it. Nick Bonito, the linebacker, could have sealed it right there.
But Bonito's been rushing as a defensive end. I think he surprises Brewer by, instead of rushing, he just kind of sinks in coverage. And he throws it right to him. Completely catches Brewer off guard with a changeup. Instead of 35 rushing the quarterback, he kind of a zone pressure where he settles back in coverage.
Brewer almost bobbled the snap. Now fires, and this one is intercepted. Given a second chance, Bonito makes the pick, and a takeaway of all things is going to seal a massive comeback victory for Oklahoma. 5 games without a takeaway. They had 2 enormous takeaways in the second half. Bonito sprints down to the corner with the Sooner fans. We're going to celebrate a sweet comeback from 25 down.
I just talked about how he's been rushing Bonito all game long. Lincoln Riley fired up. They do it again. He's right here. Instead again of pressuring, this time he's just going to settle back the right place at the right time. Gets right into that throwing lane. Those long arms, he's able to extend out and come up with that interception. Watch him reach out to make that play. Back-to-back plays where Brewer makes mental errors, doesn't recognize the rushing linebacker settling in coverage, throws it right to him twice, and he picks off the second one.
And a quarterback who in his career here has been so cool and calm under pressure. Makes the mistake. There'll be no perfect season for Baylor, and Oklahoma, which looked to be in deep, deep trouble. Down 25 without CeeDee Lamb tonight. They basically reinvented their offense from quick strike to ground it out, and Jalen Hurts' toughness was on display. He ran it 27 times tonight for 114.
Great job by Jalen Hurts maintaining his composure by this entire OU team to come back and win. And just say this real quick, Baylor's got Texas next week. They got to win that game to try to get a rematch against OU in a Big 12 championship.
It's a great point. You'll have to dig very deep. The biggest comeback victory in the long and illustrious history of Oklahoma football. They come from 25 down to win it without their playmaker. Maria?
I got you, Chris. All right, Jalen, 25 points down. That's how far you had to dig out of the hole. What was going through your mind when you came back out at halftime and it seems like the offense completely changed?
All the hard work with this team right here, coming together and finding a way to get the victory. I put us in a horrible situation and we found a way to come back. I love it.
What does it mean to you to be able to make that comeback? Because you had to make some very physical plays throughout that second half.
I think that shows the heart of this team, the courage, the character that we have, the ability to overcome adversity. You overcame adversity, and you know, you remember for what you do in November. So it's a big-time win today.
I saw you several times just talking to your offense, even walking over and touching the defense. What was the message that you had on the sideline?
Well, you know, you can never get too high, never get too low. And I know I made some critical mistakes, and I know that those guys are always watching me, so I want to try and set the right example for them so that there's always an opportunity, there's always hope to get it done, and we got it done today.
All right, coming in this game, you didn't have the playmaker you're so used to seeing, and that's CeeDee Lamb. What did you have to do to overcome not having him on the sideline with you?
Did this without CeeDee Lamb. A 25, however many point comeback without CeeDee Lamb. That speaks for itself.
All right, where do you guys take this win moving forward? What does this momentum teach you?
It'll be 1-0 this week. Got another opportunity. We're going to enjoy it for 24 hours, and we're going to get ready for TCU.
All right, thanks, Jalen.
TCU is next, followed by the Bedlam game in Stillwater. The Sooners seem headed for the conference championship game, and it hurts, as you pointed out, championship moments have been a part of his life at Alabama, and certainly continue here. I mean, that is just a remarkable, gutsy effort.
You really can't say enough about him and his leadership, his composure, the poise that he played with. He can let go now a little bit and go celebrate with Lincoln Riley in this team. But 30 of 43 for 297, 4 touchdown passes, carried it 27 times for 114 yards.
Threw it for 297 after halftime. Complete dominance by Oklahoma. Baylor was only able to run 16 plays. They had 2 turnovers. They had a crucial drop, which ended a drive. Matt Rule's team, they have come light years. This one will sting. They will sing the old Baylor line song as they always do, and they will have to try to regroup to earn a rematch, as you said, against Texas.
You know, in the offseason, you work out, you look for that fourth quarter edge that every team looks for these moments when you find yourself down 21 on the road and you got to fight back without your best player in CeeDee Lamb and find a way to get it done. And Sooners deserve all the credit, man. Did not blink at all and battled back to win this game.
You've seen the biggest comeback in Oklahoma football history. 34-31. We're down to just 3 unbeatens in college football, as Minnesota and Baylor have fallen today. Leaves just LSU, Ohio State, and Clemson. And the playoff plot thickens. We've enjoyed it from Waco. Tonight's game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. We salute our entire excellent crew here. 4 wrap-up shows coming up next with Cassidy Hubbard.